If we had, yes, donate to the school, $ FDMG school on your Cash App. 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 If you need to mail in your donation, make it payable to the FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 9634. P.O. Box 9634. P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware. That is Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. We appreciate $1, but we would rather have 10. We appreciate $20, but we would rather have 50. We appreciate $50, but we would rather have 100. We appreciate $100, but we would rather have 200. We're trying to renovate a school, brothers and sisters. We're trying to renovate a school. We're not fixing a flat tire. We're not fixing a flat tire. We're not opening up a penny candy shop. We're not selling water ices, okay? We're not selling hot dogs. We're renovating a school. Do you understand? Do you understand? So please, brothers and sisters, give what you can. We're building an institution, okay? We're trying to give our children a chance that we didn't have. That's what we're doing. I don't have to pin it because I done already told you what it is. Don't be lazy. $ FDMG school. Don't be lazy. $ FDMG school. Before I continue with my message, thank you, Sister Avanti, $10 coming on the Cash App. Thank you, sister. Next time, make it 20, but thank you for that 10. I know you barely had that. Thank you, sister.
All right, this guy's crazy. Welcome to Question. Thank y'all again for tuning on in to another live stream. We got a lot to get into. Things have been heating up. But as always, Cookie Crush Cat is undefeated. Let's go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming.
Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. I got this.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's 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 coming. Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
All right. We're gonna get right on into the video for today. Let's let Umar rock out as we see him. It's such a goofball. When will he stop? Thank y'all so much. Yesterday's live stream went really well. We got a lot of views and a whole bunch of likes. And I want to thank everyone inside the Cookie Crush chat for your continued attendance and all of the laughter and joy inside the chat room. I appreciate y'all's presence. I don't take anyone for granted. I want to thank the mods too for having business. Thanks to everyone who support the channel, whether that is Cash Apps, PayPal, or Super Chats or Super Stickers, and also members. Thanks to all the members. I appreciate all y'all support. Last month was my second best month ever on YouTube. So I have to express my gratitude to you all. We're going to keep this going. This Umar Johnson saga has really gone off the rails, and it is at an all-time low. What's happened with Umar's daughter? She was in the hospital last night with thoughts of unaliving herself, and it's directly related to Umar's videos, and particularly videos that he did over the weekend. And Umar, he doesn't care. He's caused even more harm to this young lady. And I remember when he told his followers to go and confront her by spamming her inbox or her DMs. You guys remember that hit the one? He's done that as an act of intimidation to other people. He's done that to me, in point of fact. People who have spoken out against him, his critics, he's done that to people. It's dangerous, and that's one of the reasons why I stayed on Umar. And if he had shut his fucking mouth a long time ago, I would have been done with him a long time ago. But he did what he did, and these are the consequences in life. We have to deal with the consequences, and as men, you can't whine and complain and bitch about shit later on. I don't mean to start the show off like this, but you can't. You got to deal with the consequences, and that's part of being a man. Umar, he lacks fatherly compassion. He has no care for his daughter. In fact, he intentionally put her in harm's way by telling his followers to go at her, and it's had a major impact on her mental health. Already knew she was struggling with issues already. Okay, this is to say that it's not just Umar, but what Umar did over the weekend is so shameful and so hurtful to his child, and it just proves once again Umar's quality. Speaking of Umar's quality, he's a deadbeat ×3, not ×1, not ×2, ×3 at least. I've already shown the receipts. I showed it yesterday. If you haven't watched yesterday's live stream, check it out. But I want to tie this, before we get into the video for today, I want to tie this to, if you guys don't mind, quick chat, I want to tie this to the FDMG school scam, because Umar's had many different scams. One of the scams that he was running for quite some time was the psychoacademic war against Black boys, the shockumentary, which was coming to a theater near you in the fall of 2014. Okay, he was collecting money for this all the way up until about 2022. There's still no shockumentary. It was supposed to premiere again in 2014. You see that right here? Collecting money for it. Okay, same thing with the school. He's been collecting money to open up a school since the St. Paul school scam since 2014, and there's still no functional school to date. A school is a place of learning, not abandoned buildings. So when people say he has schools, no, he doesn't have school. Go look up the definition of a school. Those aren't schools. Those are abandoned buildings. Another scam was his rules of romance. He collected money for a book for you women. He was collecting pre-orders quite a few years ago. He never produced that book and kept the money. But when it comes to FDMG, understand that the irony of all of this, initially it was supposed to be a boarding school for boys and girls. Okay, the boys' school was the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. The girls' school was the Amy Douglas and something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I sure can pull it up. Let me pull it up for you guys. In fact, I'll show you the logos that Umar was using back in 2014. Here's let me see. This one is the logo for, let me show you the one for FDMG. See, initially it was going to be a boarding school for boys and girls. Okay. And so here is FDMG, Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Leadership Academy for boys. And then this was the one for girls, the a.k.a. Anna Douglas Amy J. Garvey Leadership Academy for girls. A lot of people don't know about this. A lot of people don't remember this, or they didn't know about this because it goes back so long ago. But understand that Umar was trying to tap into both demographics for you single mothers who have boys, but also you single mothers who have girls. But I'll just point out a very important point here. And that is that with everything that's happened with his daughters, okay, he has 2 daughters, and then I don't know what the other child, if it's a boy or girl, male or female. But the point is that with his daughter coming out and exposing him as a deadbeat, which I've been talking about for years, and then Umar finally starting to address this and going crazy and going nuts about this. The irony is that he used little girls to further his agenda to get money for these fake schools. Okay, ADAG and the FDMG. In point of fact, here are some examples of the manipulation and the irony of it. Now in 2025, we're on April 1st, 2025, to see, and if we go back to what Umar was doing, this is all manipulative. In 2014, ADAG Leadership Academy, Anna Douglas, Amy Garvey Leadership Academy has a little girl on there. I can fly free at ADAG Academy. Donate today at drumarjohnsonschool.com. Okay. This wasn't an official website. It was like a landing page where he had a donate button on it. This guy, he's such a scammer. The point is that at this time, he was a deadbeat, just like he is today. And he's using little girls and images of little Black girls and as manipulative tools to get money out of people. Here's another one, the ADAG Leadership Academy. We are ADAG Academy babies. Donate today at drumarjohnsonschool.com. Notice it doesn't say FDMG Academy. Okay. Here's another one using little black girls, ADAG Leadership Academy. I am ADAG Academy. See, this whole time, Umar's a deadbeat. ADAG Leadership Academy. I am ADAG Academy. There's other examples of this, but I just want you guys just to show how manipulative he is and how deceptive he is. Because during this whole time, he's telling black people how they should be raising their children, chastising black men for not marrying black women, telling black men that you need you should only date within the quote unquote race, telling black men that you should be marrying women who already have children, this type of talk. And yet he has, and you should be taking care of your kids, and y'all ain't taking care of your kids. And you parents, you black parents, you're lazy, you're shiftless. I've had him say these types of things. You're shiftless, you're lazy. You guys don't care about your kids. And the whole time he's a deadbeat for his 3 children. Well, at the time, 2 children. Okay. But you guys see my point? See, he will use black girls as leverage, as marketing tools when he wants to get money. But in the real world, he's not even taking care of his own girls. See? He's been doing this for such a long time, but more and more people are waking up. All right, I wanted to share those with you guys before we got into this live stream for today. We're going to pick back up at the 25-minute mark. And then we're going to try to see if we can get through this first video. There's still a whole nother video we got to get to, and we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to try to get through all of these so we can get all caught up this week. Parby became a member. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Beast Nation says, Lenon on the beat though. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. Thank you so much for a super chat. And Lewis X says, I'm in New York. We ain't volunteering for no shockumentary. Got New York looking crazy, and our Pan Africans don't have money for donations anyway. Rent too high, man. Yeah, I remember that rent too high thing. Yeah, Umar, in essence, he's not a Pan Africanist. That's just a title that he's adopted because he wants to identify with Marcus Garvey. Umar suffers from identity crisis. He wants to be the next Malcolm X. He actually said that the modern day Malcolm X, and he wants to be Frederick Douglass, to where he's wearing wigs like Frederick Douglass. I can pull up and show you. But the person I think that he wants to be the most is Marcus Garvey, because Marcus Garvey is associated with the UNIA, and Umar had dealing with the UNIA going back to 2000. I want to say 2001. I'll have to look inside my notes to see, because there's been times where he said 2001 where he joined, and there's other times where he said he heard about it, and then it was around the same time. But the point is that he has this identity crisis. He wants to be the next Marcus Garvey. Really, he wants to be Marcus Garvey. That's really what it is. I'm looking at my note. I'm looking right here. Umar, he starts in the Garvey movement. I'm sorry, I apologize. It was in and around 1997, not 2001. In and around 1997, and then by 2000, but he wasn't consistently there because he was in college at the time. But by the time he gets to 2005, he puts in his resignation letter to the UNIA. Anyway, that's Umar. He's not a Pan-Africanist. He wants to be associated with Pan-Africans and great Pan-Africanist leaders of the past because it makes him seem as if he's more important than he really is. That's a narcissism. All right. Okay. Thanks, Little Step, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thanks everyone too inside the Good Question. I appreciate y'all taking the time to tune on in. Let me go ahead and pull up the video for today. We're also going to be referencing this other video that I pulled up yesterday, just because in terms of the timeline, I think it's critical to take a look at. And I'll just take out segments from here and there. It's from 2013. March 26th of 2000, in around March 26th of 2013. And when you listen to what Umar is saying here, he's actually projecting a lot, but then it also shows the hypocrisy because all this time he's been a deadbeat. He was a deadbeat then, he's a deadbeat now. Lewis also says, I remember the wig pics looked like Pan-African Cat Williams. Yeah, he sure did. Let me pull it up. I'll pull it up and show you all right here, because he tells you black women that you shouldn't be wearing weaves and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, if Umar, if he wants to look like Frederick Douglass, Frederick Douglass, he sure will wear a weave or a wig. Here's one of the pictures right here. Look. Yeah, you Umar Johnson followers. Come on now. Umar, he really is. He's something else. Let me pull up another one for you all. There you go. Look at this. Yeah, he wants to be Frederick Douglass so bad. He's not related to Frederick Douglass. There's no blood relationship. There's no genetic relationship. His daddy took a DNA test, and it came back that they're not related. His daddy still runs with the lie. Umar still runs with the lie to this day. And then here we go. I mean, Umar, he's a trip. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's get going here. I want to try to get some movement on this particular video that everyone's been talking about. There's actually two of them, and then I'm also going to be referencing this video from time to time.
Ass and then move out, because ain't nobody gonna live with a selfish ass ego. Get your house in order before you go ruin somebody else's. See, you got to recognize that we got spiritual vampires in the black community. What is a spiritual vampire? What is a vampire? It's a beast, but you can't tell in the daytime. But Brother Jabari say some of y'all gonna go clubbing tonight, right? There's gonna be some vampires in there. He gonna be dressed up, ladies. He gonna be sharp, cologne and everything. And fellas, she gonna be sharp. She gonna have the cuts, the build, the abs and everything. You're like, damn, right? They look like people, don't they? You think they human until you let them spend one night over your house. And then all of a sudden they transform and the teeth start growing and the ears get pointy. And you know what they do? They intoxicate your world with all their emotional baggage. You're like, damn, when I met them, they were so nice. We only 2 weeks into this damn thing and I'm ready to give up. Because you dating a spiritual vampire. Spiritual vampires love happy people because they think that if they suck enough of your energy, it'll make them happy. Because they fail to realize that the only people who control the way we feel is ourselves. But some of us get in relationships because we think we can make somebody else responsible for doing something we couldn't do for ourselves. Statistics are not kept on black fathers who want to be involved in their children's lives, but gets disrupted by the mother or the grandmother or the whole damn family. I had to go with one father. We went over here to talk to the mother to have a sit down. Everybody was there. Cousins, grandpa with a cane. I said, damn, y'all want to fight the man just because he want to see his seed? So I had to diffuse the situation. I called some of my homies, though, straight up. I said, look, I don't know if I can work my way out of this one. This the address, be outside. If I text you, come in, whether the door locked or not. You think my psychology always going to work? Hell no. Some brothers are straight third. I don't want to hear that.
Right. Wow. I know, it's so ironic. Yeah, he is. He's hilarious. Back then he was hilarious. Now he be looking like a bum. Yeah. He's a lot of this he be saying, he making it up, but it's really based on his own experiences. So we'll reference this as we go through this video, and then we get to the other video, the second video tomorrow. Okay, that'll be the plan. All right, thank you all so much. Everyone inside the Cook Crush chat. We got a lot to get into. Real quick, Seth says, and they get to the club, and Umar is at the front door, and the DJ in the yeah, you know, Umar be telling these stories out, and then they get to the club, and I'm at the front door, and then the DJ he put on Slick Rick, family. Yeah, he started telling stories. But I want to just reiterate that oftentimes when Umar is telling these hypothetical, it sounds like anecdotal stories, like they, you know, this is one of his experiences, you know, but it's not his experience helping someone else. But that's not what it is. What it is he's sourcing his own life experiences as a deadbeat and an absentee father who wants to go visit their child, but when they go visit the child, you know, they have to sit on the grandmama's couch and there's people looking at him because it's supervised visitation. So what he's doing is he creates this whole narrative based on his own personal experience. See, and that's, I think, Seth, the reason why Umar, he does so much. He has to put extras on it and make it like entertaining and comedic because it's more believable that way. On one hand, it sounds like a story, like a funny story, but because it's funny, people kind of, oh, okay, yeah, maybe he's telling the truth. I mean, it's a funny story. He's telling the truth. Okay, cool. But if you really think about it, you know, Umar's history, you realize he's sourcing his own life experiences as a deadbeat. And that's one of the things that's dangerous about Umar, because his bias, he has biases, and they're extreme. Okay, and he's so self-centered. Oftentimes when he's speaking, he's really trying to justify his existence as a deadbeat. He's trying to justify his existence as a homeless man at the age of 50. See, he's trying to justify being unemployed since 2010, 2011. You see what I'm saying? So he'll tell these stories, you know, but really what he's trying to do is to justify, you know, all of the iniquities within him. And that's Umar, see? But he be spinning stories. He be going on. Okay, thanks, Seth, for the super chat. Okay, let's get into this, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning on in. Shout out to the Cookie Crush chat. All right, so we're going to pick up at the 25-minute mark. That's where we left off yesterday. I'll go back to the 24-minute mark so we get a little runtime in here.
Weeks.
Here we go.
At 23, I was beginning my first master's program at Millersville University, having already I did my
Okay, and this is Umar. He's taking shots at his daughter. Horrible for him to say this. This horrible.
part. Your mother is the reason I wasn't in your life after the age of 10. And clearly you needed me. I think everybody who has watched you make a fool of yourself on the internet, I think everybody knows that you clearly needed your father. You're not in school. You're not in trade school. You're not in real estate school. You're not in college. You're not doing anything with yourself right now. You're about to be 23 in a couple weeks. At 23, I was beginning my first master's program at Millersville University, having already earned 2 bachelor's degrees. At 23, I was beginning my first master's program at Millersville University, having already earned 2 bachelor's degrees. That's what I was doing at 23. That's what I was doing at 23. I met your mother shortly thereafter. In fact, she was the age you're about to be when we started dating, 23.
No, she wasn't. He lying.
Your mother was the age you are about to be. Well, let me take that back. She was 21. I was 23. She was 23 when you were conceived.
See, he be lying. Let me just look on my, because I didn't pull this up yesterday. Let me see. He started the grad school at Millersville when he was 24. So what are you talking about, Umar?
But you are around the age your mother was when she started her shenanigans.
Now around the age. Mm-hmm.
You are around the age your mother was when she started her shenanigans. I'm disappointed in her and I'm disappointed in you. But I want to say this to you because
Horrible.
I love you as a father. You are my baby and I love you. Don't you ever forget
Virgo.
that.
Maybe
Don't you ever forget that your father loves you. Your birthday coming up next
How's he going to say he loves her, but he's disparaging her like that? That's crazy.
month. And I'm considering this being April. Next month is next month, May. Your birthday is next month. I want to take you out to dinner. Let's go to dinner for your birthday.
This guy crazy.
And I don't want to talk about this, and I don't want to talk about your mom, and I don't want to talk about the past. I just want to have a civilized dinner with my daughter because we haven't had dinner since you sat at my kitchen table at the age of 10.
Damn.
12 years, you have not had dinner with me in 12 years. Let's have a daddy-daughter dinner for your 23rd birthday. Let's have a daddy-daughter dinner for your 23rd birthday. Let's have a daddy-daughter dinner for your 23rd birthday. Now, your mother might not want you going to dinner with me. Your mom might not want you going to dinner. She might not. So if you have to sneak and do it, we can sneak and do it.
What?
What she don't know can't hurt. It's a shame that a man she willingly got pregnant by can't take his daughter to dinner.
What are you talking about? She's 22, Umar. She's grown. What is he? Anybody? What's I don't. This guy, he's sick. He's so sick. Like she has to sneak out to go be with him. What is this? It sounds weirdo to me. What's up, Iceman? Man? Iceman said, you can tell Umar was one of them little sassy kids rolling his eyes and neck. Yeah, I believe so. Doing his hands like this and shit. That's probably why Jamal sent him to military school. Well, listen, based upon what Umar said there was 2 things. One, that Jamal felt that Umar was too close to his mama, meaning Barbara. And then 2, Umar said that Jamal felt as if Umar was a mama's boy. I can pull it up and play it for you guys. He's actually mentioned this quite a few times in old videos of Umar. So yeah, there was an issue with Umar dealing with his relationship with his mother, enmeshment, too much attachment to his mother. That's why even in this video that we're watching right now, he's in his mama's closet doing this live stream. I told he was going to end up back in his mama's closet whenever he doesn't have a speaking engagement, because he's been homeless since 2019. Whenever, and he got evicted in 2009, he hasn't had his own residence since that time. Whenever he doesn't have a speaking engagement, because they provide him with room and board, they give him a hotel and motel room. then what he does is he'll take FDMG donation money and he'll buy a hotel or motel, right? And he'll stay there. But then when that money runs out, what does he do? He ends up back in his mama's closet. See, remember, CashApp got shut down. I told people it's going to take a while before we start to see the ramifications of this, and the fact that after all this time, because Umar hadn't been inside his mama's closet live streaming in a long time. But see, that money's run dry because the CashApp's not there. He's been living off this money since 2014. See? And so here we are. There's about $1.2 million missing. Here we are at this point, and he's right back at his mama's inside his mama's closet because that's his safety net. See, he has enmeshment issues, and in fact, for Umar, from a psychological perspective, him going back, and an emotional perspective too, going back to his mama is like him having a level of power to not be shipped away by his daddy to a military academy. Again, Umar was the only one who was shipped away because he was a problem child. See? So now he has the power to not be sent away. I know, just think about this. I'm just talking from an emotional standpoint because Umar is in a state of arrested development. Oftentimes when he's speaking, it's like a little child. He has these different personalities too. I'm talking about little Jermaine in particular right now. Little Jermaine is so attached to his mommy. Okay. So, and that's why when he did the video in February, you remember this, in February of 2019, when he does the school announcement video, he says, I don't have any friends. I have my mother. It's not a normal friendship per se. It's enmeshment. It's a form of emotional incest, the emotional attachment that Umar still has to his mama that he had back then. But the thing is that it's gotten worse because he was shipped away from his mama and he was separated from that family. Jamal wasn't even living with him. He had a whole other family by that time. He had married his second wife. See, but there was two issues. One, that Umar was too close to his mama, and two, that he was a mama's boy. But in my opinion, the issue was that Umar didn't have his father in his life consistently enough to keep him on track and for him to grow into a man. And you know what? Even to this day, Umar's not a man. Look at how he's behaving. He doesn't know how to take care of himself. He doesn't pay his bills on time. See? He got massive tax lien, student loan debt. See? He's always asking people for things. You know this, Iceman Vamp. He's always asking, I need this, I need that. Can someone find me a place? I'm hungry. Someone want to go out to find me something to eat? Where can I go eat right now? He's like a little child, you know? Is there something happening in this city? Can anyone tell me? Why don't you just go on Google and look it up for yourself? See? But see, at the end of the day, he always ends back up in his mama's closet. See? For Umar, what it does is it gives him comforts and it provides him with, it's more like a emotional blanket that he can return to because it was traumatizing for him to be shipped away and sent off to military school. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, military academy, it's corporal. See, it's very strict. And Umar, he was soft. He still is to this day. You know, even his mannerisms, he's very, you know, he don't got no muscle man. It's mass. It's mainly, I don't mean to be that way, but his fat content is very, very heavy. I don't, if that makes sense to people. So even the way that he moves, you see, okay. And I'm not talking about his sexuality. That's not what I'm talking about here. Okay, I don't want people to get that twisted. I'm just saying that Umar is a softie, you see, and for him to be put in the 9th grade to be shipped away from his mama. In fact, in the 9th grade, because I've heard him say 10th grade, I've heard him say 9th, but I'm just gonna go with the 9th grade. He was in and around 13 years old, 8th grade actually. I heard him say 8th grade and 9th grade. He was around 13 years old. He wasn't prepared for that, see? And it was a traumatizing experience. He actually said that. See, I'm going based on what Umar says, see? And so here we are all these years later, and that trauma, it really impacted Umar. What he really needed was a father in his life consistently to guide him from the time that he was born. Remember, Jamal, he went off to boot camp for military. He joins the Marine in 1975. Umar was born in 1974. See? And we know how the military is. Jamal was at Paris Island, South Carolina, Camp Johnson, Jacksonville, North Carolina. He was at Okinawa, Japan. He was in Virginia, again in Okinawa in 1980. No, that was 1980. It's the same one. 1980 in Okinawa, Japan. He was also in Quantico, Virginia in 1981, in Jacksonville, North Carolina in 1981. In 1982 was in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Nothing in Philadelphia. 1982 through 1984, Paris Island, South Carolina. 1985, that's when he retires, you see. But by that time, he was divorced from Barbara, and then he starts working at the post office. He also worked for a while. I can pull up the receipt on that, his ID. He actually worked for Disneyland. Okay. But then at a certain point, he starts working for the post office, and that's where he meets his second wife, rest in peace. And then they go on to have 3 children. And in my opinion, he did a lot better with that second family, but at the expense of the first family. And that also means Umar. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not giving excuses for Umar, but I understand enough of his history to recognize why he is the way that he is. And he was sassy back then. He's sassy today. He's always in some mess. See, Umar's always in some mess. He doesn't know how to regulate his emotions. Okay, he wasn't brought up to be a man. That's why he can't function in society as a man to this day. He also has mental health issues too. But see, that stuff should have been resolved earlier on. Anyway, I can go on and on. Thanks, Iceman. I appreciate it. If anybody wants any receipts on this, just let me know. I can pull it up. Okay, it'll either be from Umar's own post on his social media, Jamal's own post from his social media. He's took all the social media down after all this stuff took place with Umar getting exposed by his first daughter, or it's from videos of Umar or videos from Jamal. Okay, and then there's also articles I can refer to online, and also documentation that you can find from the military that outlines the deployments of Jamal Johnson. Okay, thanks, Iceman Van, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let me get these others real quick. Then we'll get to the video. Jason says, let's sneak and meet while telling the whole world about his plan. Shake my head. Yes, that's ridiculous. Why would a 50-year-old man who's been a deadbeat in his daughter's life, and again, Umar stated that he was consistent in her life up until age 5 or 6. He's still dealing with her from time to time, but he's not consistent. That's his own words. Okay, that's what he said. I didn't say that. He said that. Okay? Hit the one. But then by the time the baby gets around 10 years old, he's absent. He completely abandons. But see, Umar, not only around that time did he abandon his child, he abandoned his career as a school psychologist. And why did he do that? Because he wanted to get into the Black conscious space. And then he starts to travel more and more. That's why he's unable to be consistent inside of his daughter's life. He's spending less and less time in Philadelphia. You guys understand what I'm saying? That's why the timeline is so important. I can show you all the timeline right now. The way that the sequence of events, how this all leads into the period of time that Umar becomes absent, fits perfectly within the timeline and his ascendancy into the Black conscious space and becoming a speaker and doing more speaking engagement, traveling around the world, and he's all over the place. See, there's times where he don't come back to Philly for a couple of months. Think about that for a moment. So how are you going to be able to spend time with this baby if you're going to be gone for 2 or 3 months, going over to the UK, but then after that you go over to Africa, then after that you go to the West Coast. You see what I'm saying? Living in and out of motel rooms. See? So the point is, here we have someone who hasn't been consistently present in his daughter's life, and then he's creating this scenario after disparaging his daughter, who, by the way, is in a hospital dealing with mental health issues associated with Umar going in on her like this and disparaging her this way. And he's going to propose, after disparaging her, that they're going to meet privately and secretly, and then telling the whole world at the same time. See, Umar's a trip. Something's wrong with him, literally. Right? That's like, Jason, that's like when Umar says things like, you guys always talking about my business. Well, Umar, stop talking about your business. I told your daddy the same thing. If you talk about the business and you're trying to, online telling all your business, then people going to talk about your business. Anyway, thanks, Jay, for super chat. User 225 says, notice how he's treating her like a little girl. Yeah. Who has to sneak out and saying she should be doing more at 23 at the same time, incoherent and unhinged. Yeah. So on one hand, but this is what I think. Okay, and this is me speculating. It's more of a hypothesis. I hypothesize that Umar, because he's been absent in her life for such a long time, he doesn't see her as an adult. He sees her as the child that she was prior to him abandoning her. So that's why this notion of her sneaking out. Okay. What are you talking about? It sounds kind of P. Diddy-ish, to be honest with you. It's just it don't make it's inappropriate. Okay, for a father to be talking like this. Real talk. Okay. But then on the other hand, because he's seeking, this is how I don't know what the word is. This is how deviant Umar is. There we go. What he does is, on one hand, he wants to minimize her like she's a little child based upon his last interactions with her. See? But then on the other hand, he's going to use her age against her, knowing her age, to disparage her in terms of where she's at in life right now. That's crazy. What kind of father? See, we're supposed to elevate our children. Okay? We're supposed to give them encouragement. See? But that's not what Umar did. He disparages her. He wants to keep her in her place as a little child. That's why he calls her baby Smurf. She's grown. But then he will take her age now and he'll use it against her as a tool to disparage her. See? Saying that when I was around your age, I had 2 degrees. He had 1 degree as a double major, but that's not the point. Okay, why would you say that to a child? I'm gonna tell you, and I said this, I think I said it yesterday. The world is different these days, especially for these younger people. It's different, especially with the social media. I have a degree in cybersecurity. It's very different. See, we've had to study aspects of the internet, how it came into being, and then smartphones, and then being on their smartphones, how much time children are spending on their smartphones, spending on their tablets. Even something as simple as, let's say, these days we have smart TVs. When we were growing up, we didn't have smart TVs. Y'all remember this? Anyone who was older? We have these box TVs that had antennae that would get the signal. This was before cable boxes and any of that stuff. And I remember we even had way back in the day, we had TVs that didn't have any color. It was black and white. But you would turn it on and then you would turn this knob to find channels. And I remember when I was really, really young, there might have been 4 channels. I kid you not. Think about you younger people, 4 channels. And you can tune into these channels and it have a show on there or different shows, and it'd be commercials that come on, but it's programmed. You can't pick what you want to watch at any given time. Whatever your channel you on, whatever they have on that channel, you watch the whole thing until you turn to a different channel, you turn the TV off. And then when it would get around midnight, the channels would go off. You wouldn't get any signal. See? So this is to say, and I remember it got to 5 channels or 6 channels, then cable comes along. But this is to say, back then, we didn't have much to kind of be influenced by. These children these days, not only do they got they smart phones, they got the smart TV, thousands of channels. They can look at whatever they want to, whenever they want to. They have the internet. We didn't have the internet growing up. So the pressure that is put on children as they try to navigate this world when it comes to social media in particular, it's very, very difficult. See? But Umar, he doesn't have enough compassion as a father to recognize that what he's doing on social media is actually having a very negative effect on his own daughter. See, and to disparage her like this on social media, it's the wrong thing to do. Same thing when Jamal Johnson came out to disparage Umar on social media, that's the wrong thing to do. See? All right. Thanks, user 225. Black Anonymous says, Umar thinks this is damage control, but he's just making himself look horrible. I'm sure he's lost a significant portion of his base with this mess. You're right. And see, Black Anonymous been around from the beginning. Okay. And you remember there was and I could pull up pictures and show people, there was a time where Umar, his following was massive. And I'm not talking specifically about social media. I'm talking about grassroots, where they would pack out buildings and there were people that would come with suits and ties and professionals to come hear him speak. Those days are long gone. See, what I've seen with Umar is even though he may get more people on social media who may like or may subscribe or may follow, he's not getting the types of views on social media like he used to. And the reason why is because he's burned so many bridges, and there's a lot of his followers, they realize over the years that this guy, he's off his rocker. See? And so remember, even once his daughter comes out to speak out and tell the truth that he's a deadbeat, he lost a lot of support right there. I've had plenty of people watching older videos of mine because they're looking to the Umar and the algorithm kicks in and they're watching my older videos, and I get comments where they say, I didn't even know that. I had this one, I think it was a woman, she was saying, I didn't even know Umar had children. See? So what's happened is that more and more people are waking up. He may get more, he may have more followers, but what it is that their people are really following him to see the train wreck, not because they necessarily support him. See? And so now, after this takes place with his daughter, Umar goes into, he wants to do damage control, but what he does is he makes things work. He always does that. He did that with the Sadie Rant, did it with the Conscious Tripper, he did that with Tariq Nasheed and everybody else. He makes it even worse. And what he's doing is more and more people, as they're viewing this and they're watching him make it worse, they're realizing the truth about Umar. He's unhinged. See? I can't tell you how many people I've seen post messages on my YouTube. There's been a whole bunch of views. Last month it was crazy. But they're saying, I didn't even know he had children, or he has children. Why is he talking about them like that? Why is he talking about the baby mamas like that? Yeah, he's lost a significant portion of his base. Remember, his main demographic is single black mothers. And so here he is blaming his single black mamas. See, listen, it'd be different if it was one and he has all these issues with just one, but he's making it two that he's having the same issues with. But the truth be told, he has at least 3 baby mamas. And if he ever came out and admitted that, he'd probably tell some same stories like this. So what I'm saying is that the common denominator is who? It's Umar. See? And more people are waking up to that truth. Thank you, Black Anonymous, for super chat. Good point, too. Akeem says, can you show the video where he lost his voice and tried to keep talking just to show how ridiculous this whole ordeal is? Sounding like Master Yoda. Yeah. That was the Breonna Taylor. No, what was that? Yeah, I think it was Breonna Taylor? And I think that was was it St. Louis? I think it was in St. Louis. Yeah, I'll pull that up, Akeem. Yeah. That's Umar. You know, he always has to have the attention. He has to have the spotlight on him. It's the narcissism. And I'll dare say, too, I think that even Umar, even though it's a negative attention that he's getting right now dealing with his daughter, I think he's enjoying it on some level. I'm talking about like in a real twisted type of way, that it gives him life. You know, it makes him feel as if things are moving in his life, even though it's all negative. And there are people who are like that. There are people like myself. I like peace. You know what I'm saying? I don't tolerate no shit, though. Don't get it twisted. See, that's the thing. For me, if people impede upon my peace, I don't play that shit because I tend to leave people alone. You know, now I go in on Umar, but that's what I do here on YouTube. I'm his main critic. But I want to talk about in the real world. I like to say to myself, I let people do what you're gonna do, but don't be messing with my peace now. I don't play that shit. Okay. The thing is that with Umar, I think he's the opposite. I think he thrives on controversy. He thrives on drama. He thrives on mess. He's messy. You know, Umar is the messiest person I've seen online. He's always in some mess. You see, but I think for him, it fuels him. You know, it makes him feel as, okay, now I have a reason to wake up because I have to deal with this mess. You see? Okay, I'm gonna pull this up. I wrote it down. I'll get to it in just a little bit. Thank you so much, Akeem, for the super chat. Beast Nation says, dear Umar, you can't keep running in and out of her life. Yeah, and I agree. Well, you know what? You know, the truth is, I don't think Umar cares. See, I don't think he cares. I try to make things make sense in my head. Sometimes I drive myself like, I ain't gonna say crazy, but I'll be distressing. Like, okay, how do I make this make sense? You know? And in my mind, how do I make sense? And I'm speaking of what you're saying here. How do I make sense of Umar and what he's doing right now? Can anyone in the Cookie Crush chat, can you really make it make sense? Because here's someone who's absent. The daughter is really reaching out. She does want to meet her sibling, at least one of her siblings that she just found out about. But she also wants Umar in her life. Okay, let's be clear about that. Let's not miss out on that. So how do we make this make sense at this point? See, the only way that this would make sense, I'm talking about to have this resolved in a sensible way, is for Umar to have simply called her and handle this all offline. I'm not saying that their relationship is going to be perfect right away, because that's not how it works, but at least acknowledge her in a respectful way, start to build a bridge back into her life. And this is an opportunity that Umar, he just tricked it off. See, so then the next step for me in terms of how I think about this, Beast Nation, is if Umar decides to trick it off, which he's done, and then like Black Anonymous was saying, he's made it worse, and he continues to make it worse. How do I make that make sense? See? Because the counter to that is for Umar to recognize that you can't keep running in and out of her life, meaning his daughter's life. You can't keep doing that. See, even in this situation, he runs in to attack, but then he runs out and retreat. See, and that's what I can't make sense of, unless he just don't care. Okay, now it makes sense. See, that's how my mind works. But there's a lot of stuff with Umar I haven't quite figured out. And not just with Umar, there's stuff in life I just haven't quite figured out. But I'm the kind of person I said, how do I make that make sense? And sometimes shit just don't make sense. You can try to figure it out as much as you want to. It's like putting the piece. Remember back in the day, we used to have puzzles that we used to put together. Kids these days, it's like, what? I said, well, how do I plug this puzzle in? I ain't working. What is this shit? But back in the day, we had puzzles. We put puzzles together. That's how my mind works when it comes to things that don't make sense. I'm trying to make them make sense. And the problem is that with Umar, it's hard to make things make sense unless when it comes to him running in and out of her life, unless he simply doesn't care. Now it makes sense. See, but that also proves that he's a deadbeat and he's an uncaring person. See? And like I've been saying, Umar, I don't think he cares about anybody. I really don't. I think Umar has his vices and his addictions, and that's what he cares about the most, fulfilling those addictions and making sure that those vices are adhered to. And that's it. Everyone else is nothing more than a resource. See? All right. Thanks, Beast Nation, for the super chat. Iceman Vance says Umar still had a big back TV in 2019. He sure did. He sure did. Anybody remember them TVs? Hit the one. I kid you not. They were black and white. You would plug them in. There was no cable, and they had antennas. And sometimes the antennas would break, and you would have to try to put what do they call those? Back then, it was just metal. It was hangers, metal hangers, and you would twist them up and put it in there, and you started. And then sometimes you have to move the TV by the window so you can get a reception. Yeah, those are good old days. See, that's when we used to go outside. That's when kids went outside back then. Not so much these days. Okay, thank you. That's about what about kids? I said, son, going outside. Go outside in the sun. He said, the what? I said, the sun. What's that? I said, son, come on now. Okay. Thanks, Iceman Man, for the super chat. And then user 225 says, do cybersecurity people study OSI model and system? Yeah. In fact, I remember there was a class that I took for specifically system design, and I actually pulled up the graphics, because a lot of what we were doing was we were figuring out what components connect to what components, and it could be system design, but also let's say if we're trying to do an area network, we would have to figure out, okay, what components are needed. And then how to connect things, and then okay, what about the servers? Okay, how much bandwidth are we going to need? How much storage space? All this type of stuff. So yeah, we have to study that too. That wasn't the main thing that we studied. The main stuff that we studied was the technology used for cybersecurity, which I found to be very, very fascinating. Okay, great question. Thank you, user 225. Okay, let's get back to the video, and I'm going to go find this video of when Umar lost his voice. Okay, because he'd be running his mouth. Okay, let's get back to it. Here we go.
It's a shame that a man she intentionally got pregnant by can't take his daughter to dinner. But be that as it may, if we need to keep it confidential, we can keep it confidential. I do not live my personal life on social media. I'm only doing this because you took it there. I'm only doing this because you took it there. I'm only doing this because you took it there. First of all, graduations. If I'm not mistaken, I was at your kindergarten graduation. I was there. I was at your kindergarten graduation. I gave you your first birthday party. I still have the DVD, not the DVD. I got the VCR tape. I can get it switched over to DVD for you.
We're going to do it then. And prove to the world, Umar. See, he always say this and that, and then he got receipts, he got paperwork, but he don't never show no paperwork. So he don't never show no, hit the one. He don't never show no receipts. Okay, Umar, and see, truth be told, who gives a shit anyway? You said by the 8th. I'm sorry. Here I go. Yesterday, I apologize for yesterday, y'all. I was on it. I apologize. I'm trying today. I said, come calm, be collected, just be peaceful, do your best, keep your composure. It just pisses me off. All this pisses me off, especially with how he treating his daughter. Umar never provides receipts. So Umar, if you have all these receipts, why don't you show it? You said they have the white man paperwork for all the court documentation. Well, show it then, and sit your big ass down inside your mama closet and pull out these receipts. Okay. And if you have this VHS tape, well, go and get the VCR, because I know you got a VCR in there. Listen, I guarantee you, Umar got a VCR. He got that big back TV and a VCR under it. Don't trip. Don't trip. He got a VCR. Go on and put it in there and show it to us, Umar. Anyway. You younger people, a VCR? What is that? and the VHS tapes. I remember all that stuff from back in the day. We used to record the Cosby Show back in the day. Anyway, he always say he got receipts. He don't ever show nothing. Let me let it play.
I still have the tape of your first birthday party. I still have the cakes. I kept your face. I still got the bowls. I kept a.
You still got the what? He lying. You lying. Listen, I know you ain't got none of this shit. Umar, will you stop? You mean to tell me here we go, that you still got the bowl, you still got the whatever he said? Really? How do you still have these things? Look,
alpha male, send those resumes in. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. Resumes at gmail.com. FDMG.
where is it at, Umar? He's such a liar. Where is it at?
Resumes at
Look at this. There's that big back TV over there on that side. I thought he said cakes. What do you mean you still have the cakes? What in the world? This guy be lying so much. Where is this cake, Umar? Where are these bowls? Where are these whatever else you said? Look.
MG resumes.
Come on, Umar, cut it out. Look at this. That big back TV over there, waiting to get turned on. Big ass tubes in it. Ain't no transistors in these bad boys. You turn that bad boy on, it be humming. You're having them old TVs, you turn that bad boys on. Yeah, that's a Zenith. That's what it is. The VHS tape is right next to Scooby-Doo. Yeah. The VHS tape is right next to the typewriter. Someone said it's a Zenith, a Pioneer. Y'all crazy. Boy, that is wild. He got a Panasonic. Yeah, Magnavox. I remember that. Don't say nothing bad about those Magnavox now. Come on now. Yeah, it is. That's why it's so funny. Okay. All right. Yeah, you gotta let them TV. Remember back then you gotta let the TV warm up? I remember that. He got this bad boy from Circuit City. All right, let me get out this chat. Boy, y'all crazy. All right. Anyway, where are you hoarding all of these things, Umar?
gmail.com.
Oh my God, look at that. Look at this. Man, every time I see this, I'm shocked. Talking about he still got this stuff. This is from 2019, y'all. Okay. Let me go look at my time so we can get this squared away. Baby, 2000 till about 2012, he was out of her life. Okay, this is 2019. You mean to tell me you still have all of this, Umar? Someone said, damn. Yeah. All kind of shit on the ground. Trash, clothes, papers. He's such a manipulator because in the back behind him, look what he has, everything kind of nice, all African, whatever. All right. Let me go hear what he said again, because he crazy.
Of memorabilia from you.
He said memorabilia.
First of all, graduations.
Oh, wow.
If I'm not mistaken, I was at your kindergarten graduation.
See how he says, if I'm not mistaken. You wasn't there. Cut it out.
I was there. I was at your kindergarten graduation.
No, you weren't.
I gave you your first birthday party. I still have the DVD, not the DVD. I got the VCR tape. I can get it switched over to DVD for you. Mm-hmm. I still have the tape of your first birthday party. I still have the cakes.
He said from her first birthday party. That was what, 2003? You mean to tell me that you've been holding on to these cakes for 22 years? He's a liar. He's not just a liar, he's a liar. Like I said before, this guy is a pathological liar. See, the pathology is he wants people to think that he was doing all these things for her, but now he's making up shit. I still have the cakes. Also, family, there was somebody made some Kool-Aid. I still have the Kool-Aid package, the great Kool-Aid package. Sometimes I sniff in it. The candles burnt down. They did, but I kept the wax. I have the wax in the back. The balloons, I still have the balloons that had helium in there. I still have the balloons with helium. They still float. The helium is still active, very much active. Yes. Well, that's what he's saying. Somebody said forever. You gotta be kidding me. Octo said it is forever cakes. Yeah, I know, but that's his way to fix it. That's his way of covering himself because he know he lying. If memory serves me correct. Now I'll say that when I'm trying to reference something from the past, and if I'm not sure, I'll say that, but then I go pull it up and find it. You see, but he's doing this to lie. I know this guy is a 21-year-old cake sitting. I don't know where he kept it at. I don't even know how you can keep a cake that long. The candles, they still burning. They still burning. Yeah. 21 years, 21-year candles. All right, let me get out of here. I have an message says kindergarten graduation, huh, Umar? That was only 18 years ago. I know. It's nuts. No, but I thought he said your first birthday, right? Okay, but then he's talking about grad. Okay, I get what you're saying. But I think here he's talking about the birthday. And he said the first birthday, that would have been in 2023. And now he's saying that he has the cakes. This guy lies. It's incredible how much this guy's lying. Because see, sometimes he does this from time to time. He'll start lying and then he'll say something that's so outlandish as he's lying. That's when it's like a habitual. He just, by habit, he starts and then he just keeps going and he's saying shit that everybody knows don't make no sense. Everybody knows he's lying, including his followers. Any of you Umar Johnson followers, do you guys believe that Umar still has cakes from her first birthday? And that would have been in 2003? This guy, boy, I tell you, he lies so much, it's ridiculous. Thanks, Iceman Van, for super chat. Step the Barber says, you need a hazmat suit for that scavenger. I know. Listen, if I walked into this right here.
Resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes.
If I walk into a room that looked like this, I would walk right out because there's no telling what's going on in there. Look at this. And to be real, even if I had on a hazmat suit, I wouldn't go up in there. I wouldn't do it. Real talk. Because a hazmat suit ain't going to stop an animal or a creature from jumping out on your ass. Look at this. Y'all can't tell me that he don't have some kind of vermin up in there. Vermins love this shit. Spiders, roaches.
.com is what we're looking for. Is what at G.
Man, that corner over there is look at that. That's horrible. Yeah, I'm saying even if I wouldn't even go in if I had on a hazmat suit. Okay, it just would not happen because ain't no telling what might jump out on me. Same Step the Barber. One of them mices. You know, Umar always talk about mices. They might jump on your ass. I'm gonna throw a mice on your ass. All right, Umar. Thanks for super chat. Okay, let's get a Gazo Princess line. Yeah, he's in full blown lying mode right now, and he does this from time to time. See, but like I said, sometimes when he starts lying, he'll because it's habitual, he'll say stuff because he's really trying to paint a narrative. But when he starts, he just keeps going, and that's when he'll slip up and say some outlandish shit. And everybody know it don't make no sense. How you talking about? I still have the cakes. That's crazy. That's got to be one of the most ridiculous things I've heard him say. Thanks, guys, little princess, and thanks for being a mom handling the business too. And by the way, if anyone's been blocked and you feel as if it was unwarranted, you can always email at LenonHonor@yahoo.com and just send me a link to your YouTube page, and I'll see what I can do. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys, little princess. Lenore Beaver says Umar going to transfer that VHS to DVD on Monday. Yeah, he don't have. Listen, let me say this. Just being fair. Is it possible that he has a DVD? I mean, excuse me. Is it possible that he has a VHS? Yes. It's possible. Do I believe him? No. Okay. But is it possible? Yeah, I think it's possible. But the idea that he still has the cakes from the birthday party from 2003, that's a flat out lie. But you see, I'm fair here. See, I'm willing to accept the possibility of one thing, but the other thing is so outlandish that it's almost impossible. I mean, how do you preserve a cake for what, 12 years? How do you do that? And where do you preserve it at? In his mama's closet? Maybe at FDMG because he stores shit up there. That's his personal storage space. So thanks, Lenore Bieber, for the super chat. Jason Macko says, Umar says everything 3 times for every. No. I'm going to tell you why. No, that's not why he does that, but that's funny. The reason why, there's 2 reasons why he does that. Initially, the reason why he didn't go back in the day. The reason why he did it was because it's a manipulative tool. In other words, if you repeat things to people over and over again, in particular 3 times, it actually has an impact on them in terms of mentally. You can act what they call the subconscious mind. Okay, the subconscious. That's where they get the word subliminal from. Sub is below, liminal being the line of demarcation. It's below the line of your human perception, conscious perception. So anything below that will be sub. Then that's where they get the idea of subconscious from, or this terminology, subconscious. Well, if you can repeat things to people, and even if it's a lie, you repeat it 3 times in particular, even if it's a lie, people will be more inclined to believe it. And then if you keep telling a lie over and over again, they're going to be more inclined to believe it. And that's what Umar has done. That's how he's mind controlled, brainwashed his followers. That's why when they try to defend Umar, they always go to the top 10 excuses made by Umar Johnson followers. And I have a list of those that have stood the test of time. We did this years. Y'all could crochet. You remember this? We did this years ago, and they still apply today in 2025. See, and the reason why those 10 still apply all these years later is because Umar repeated those same excuses to his followers over and over and over again. And normally he would do it 3 times. See? And then he'll do it 3 times. And in the next live stream, he'll do it 3 times. Maybe in the same live stream, he'll do it 3 times again later on and 3 times later on. And at a certain point, it becomes subconscious programming. And then that's what they reiterate and they repeat verbatim whenever they try to defend Umar. Okay. So, Jason, that's the first reason why Umar repeats things. It's a mind control technique. But see, what has happened with Umar is that as his own mental health has deteriorated, him repeating things 3 times, it's turned into a habit. It's habitual. See, it's a mental health issue. He can't stop himself. Peace and Pan Africanism family. Peace and Pan Africanism family. Peace and Pan African family. What? Get on your Cash App. Get on your Cash App. I said, get on your Cash App. Huh? Get on your page. You see? Now he don't even think about it. He's mind controlled himself. He'll start and automatically he kicks in and he keep doing it. It's a mental, he can't stop himself. See, it'd be different if he can stop himself. It's a mental health issue at this point. There's a mental health terminology for this. I just can't remember what it is, but everyone understand this. Umar wasn't always that way. That's why if you study Umar, the older videos, you'll see the transition that has taken place with Umar. You see, he wasn't like that in the beginning. There were always elements where he can tell he was off, but it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And now in 2025, he can't stop himself from repeating shit over and over again. Yeah, but it's also a third reason could be because he got 3 baby mamas. Okay, but then Jason, if he has more, then he's gonna have to say it 4 or 5 times, and he may have more. I would propose that he has more than 3. Okay, do I have proof of that? No, but I do have proof that he has 3. Okay. All right, thanks, Jason, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, let me just make sure that I got to everyone because we got to get going on this video. We're an hour in, and I really want to make sure. I want to try my best that we can get through both of these videos by the end of Thursday. I want to try my best. Okay, we'll see if we can make this happen. Scott says his lies go on and on and on. Yeah, on and on and on and on. Dun, 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 like a rolling stone. Yeah, on and on and on and on. And like a gotcha bone. She used to sing that to me when I was in college the first time. I was had me a little CD player. I used to put that on. She used to sing to me all the time. I had a crush on Erica Badu. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, and even today, because she got like the little rolls, little fat rolls on her neck. Boy, I said, damn, she's fine. Anyway, we ain't gonna get to that right now. Scott, when Umar starts to lie, it goes on and on and on. And like I was saying earlier, it gets outlandish because it's no longer pathological where he's trying to paint a narrative. It becomes habitual where he just coming up with any kind of bullshit. Talking about he still has the cakes from 2003. This guy, he's nuts. He's nuts. See? But it's true. Umar, he lies more than he tells the truth. I want people to understand it. And that's why when he does these types of videos, his followers assume that he's telling the truth, but Umar has a history of lying. The approach that you should have, and this is for everyone when we're dealing with Umar, and everyone in Cook for a Chat, the approach that we should have is that when Umar makes a statement, you should assume that he's lying. And then the onus, the responsibility is on him to prove that what he's saying is the truth. And that's real talk right there. See? Now, I don't have to lie. If I say something and someone says, can you pull up the receipt on that? I'll go and pull up the receipt for it. It may take me a while. Sometimes I pull it up real quickly, but then sometimes I have to go look for it, but I can pull the shit up. See, that's why when I say something, you don't have to assume that I'm lying. See, you can question it. You can say, well, where's the proof of this? And I'll just pull the shit up. See, but with Umar, you should always assume that he's lying in the first place because he lies more than he tells the truth. This makes sense? Okay. So yeah, Umar, once he starts, it's an Erykah Badu song. He on and on and on and on. That was my jam too. That was one of my favorite songs that she did was On and On. I like that one. Don't know me about my baby. Come and tell me what to do. I used to love that song. I can't remember what it was called. Okay, thank you. I know you got to get your hustle on. Thanks, Scott, for the super chat. Muad Nate says, roaches popping out like peekaboo. What he talking about? He ain't talking about nothing. What he talking about? He ain't talking about nothing. Yeah. Okay. And listen, it's highly likely, and I know that where he was living at that time too, it was in the hood. It's highly likely that he had roaches up in there, but he didn't even care. See, what kind of man lives in filth like that? And that was, let me see, he would have been 44 years old when he flipped that phone. Can you imagine? He had been living there he lived there for about 10 years, at least 10 years, I should say. Okay, because he got an eviction about 9 years prior. So I would assume that he was there for a year prior to that. It could have been longer than that, but at least 10 years. Can you imagine what kind how I feel? I'm gonna tell you something else too. There was a lady that reached out to me. This is before he flipped his phone, and she had said that she actually spent time with Umar. She said that she was intimate with Umar, and that she went over. She was at his apartment, and she said she was shocked because there was so much filth, like all over the place, living room, and in particular, she talked about the kitchen and how there were plates of food trash all over the place, plates of food with molding. You know how if you let food sit out for long enough, it just molds over. I said, oh my God. This is before he flipped the phone. So when he flips the phone, I'm saying, man, that's crazy. But then I remember, wait a minute. I remember that lady was talking about going to his apartment, and she didn't go into that room, but bare minimum, I know she was in the living room and that she was in the kitchen, and in particular, she said the kitchen was grotesque, and I can only imagine. See? And like I said, if you're living like that, there's roaches. You best believe there's roaches, right? I don't think he cared, to be honest with you. Mod Nate, thank you so much for the show. What's up, Dion? That cake got black mold on it, just like if yeah, black mold and all kind of other stuff. There's no way. How you gonna? I mean, I'm trying to think. You can freeze dry it maybe and package it and freezer wrap or something and then put it in a freezer for 12 years. So I don't know. It's ridiculous. He lying. That's the bottom line, Dion. He a liar. He lies so much it's ridiculous. Now, thanks, Dion, for super chat. Real quick, because we gotta get going here. Victor says, of all Umar's lives, this one has pissed me off the most. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you all that the thing that has upset me the most about this current situation, and it could be the thing that has pissed me off the most overall. Him threatening people pissed me off. Him trying to intimidate me pissed me off too. Him calling me gay and that I was messing with children, that really pissed me off. But the difference is I'm a lot more mature these days. I'm older, but I'm more mature. And then being a father, and having, seeing my daughters grow up and stuff, and being here from the beginning, I think that's what pisses me off the most. That he's intentionally seeking to do harm to his daughter, and he's the one that abandoned her. Yesterday we were watching the same video. Earlier on in the video, he was saying how his daughter checked out, as if she's the one that abandoned him. Okay, that kind of stuff. I just don't. It really rubs me the wrong way. And the fact that he would put his need to try to salvage his broke down deadbeat reputation, he'll put that need over the needs of his daughter and then attack his daughter online like this. Yeah, that's to me, that's the worst. That's the worst. It's totally uncalled for, unnecessary, but it proves his quality and character, not just as a father, but as a man. See, that's not normal human behavior. But he doesn't engage in normal human behavior. He's a twisted and sick individual, straight up. Okay. Thanks, Vixa. Miss Independent My Way says, save cake in freezer, if not homelessness. Okay, save cake in freezer. If not homelessness, then no. Yeah. Where is he going to save it at? He's homeless. We're going to put it inside of the mama closet? I don't know. All right, thank you. Let me get these other ones. We got to get going here. Beast Nation says, you don't find that suspicious? You mean to tell me you don't find that suspicious? Yeah, he said that. He said, I mean, there's all kinds of things he said 3 times, Sometimes the stuff, it's not even necessary. He'll just be talking and he'll be like, yeah, family, I will be at the bookstore on Monday. I will be at the bookstore I said I will be at the bookstore on Monday. I says, no, that's not necessary. There's people that be watching his videos who are his followers and they be getting on their nerves. For some reason, it's starting to get on my nerves more than it did in the past. But I think part of it is because of what he's doing to his daughter. It's just totally wrong and totally uncalled for. I mean, Umar lacks humanity. That's really what it is. He lacks humanity. He's one of them people like, he'll cause harm to a person and not feel anything anyway about it, except, okay, I got my revenge and that's that. And he moves on. He'll do that to his own children. He's the one that abandoned his children. He's sick. Thanks, Beast Nation. CJ became a member. Thank you so much. Matter of fact, I've been meaning to release some more members videos from the archive. So what was the other thing I need to go find it. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get that done tonight. Maybe I can release about 20 videos from the archive, older videos for members, and I'll let you guys know. Member video archive. Okay. Thank you for becoming a member. CJ also says, Umar clearly needs professional help. However, for creating some of the most ignorant and unsafe spaces on and offline, he can suffer a little more. Yeah. He definitely needs professional help. That's something that really should have taken place a long time ago for him. It's not that Umar has always been this bad, but there were signs of this a long time ago. Even when he was dealing in the UNIA, I believe that his father sent them away because he also recognized, and the family also recognized, that he had some serious issues. And the best thing to do, at least they thought at the time, was to separate him from the family, hopefully get him into a military training so he can get some discipline going on, but then also to keep the other children safe from his ass. Okay? He's so abusive. He's abusive today. You see. You don't become abusive later on in life at the age of 50. That's not how that shit works. You see. So I think that he needed professional help a long time ago, and either he didn't get the professional help that he needed, or he didn't get enough of it when he needed it, and he just spiraled more and more out of control. And then at this point, see, I've talked about this many times with Umar. At this point, he believes that he's the Black Christ. So can't nobody tell him anything. See, can't nobody tell him anything. Clearly, he's disturbed. But he believes that he's the Messiah. So what can you tell him? See, Nature Boy was like that too. He was twisted. That guy, he's a sociopath and a psychopath. He's a psychopath, real talk. But he thought he was Christ. He thought he was God. He called himself 3 God. So it's anyone telling him, look, you need to do this, you need to do that, he don't want to hear it because he feels like he's almighty. Well, Umar has the same mentality to this day. So it's difficult for him to go and, first of all, see that he has a problem. But second of all, for him to go and get the help that he needs, because that'd be an injury to his narcissist, his ego. His ego can't take that. But see, with Umar, he doesn't have self-awareness. So he can't sit back and reflect on where he's at right now, or where he was at 5 years ago, or 10, 15, 20 years ago, and say, damn, I need to make some changes. See, he can watch the videos that we're covering now, and he won't think anything of it. He won't say, damn, I'm acting a fucking fool right now. I shouldn't have said that to Marty. He won't do that. Because he has no self-awareness. And that's very dangerous when you have someone who does not have self-awareness, but then they have the God complex at the same time. And then they have a cult following. Very dangerous. Okay. And he is, trust and believe, he's suffering. That's for sure. Thanks, CJ, for the super chat. Tori says, jokes on you, Lenon. Those cakes are Twinkies. They last forever. Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Twinkies last for a really long time. I tried to get my kids some Twinkies. They wouldn't eat them things. They said, this tastes funny. I don't like this. I said, when we was kids, we never got Twinkies. We didn't get Twinkies. They were too expensive. Just like the cereal. Every once in a while, we would get Captain Crunch. That was like a treat. But mostly we got Corn Flakes, and every once in a while, Frosted Flakes. Outside of that, it'd be oatmeal, cream, or wheat. It's different times, but every once in a while, we get a Twinkie. But yeah, the Twinkies last forever. So, okay. Thanks, Tori, for super chat. And then Beast Nation says, we're my Crenshaw Mafia. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. All right. Thank you for super chat. Okay, let's get going here, because we got to make some progress on this video. We're an hour and 16 minutes in already. We have, let me just check real quick. There is a poll question. If you haven't answered the poll question, there's already been 809 votes. Make sure you get your vote in. Is a 50-year-old unemployed homeless deadbeat streaming in his mama's closet a struggle streamer? 93% said yes, and 7% said no. That's Umar and his burner accounts. Okay. So make sure you get your vote in there. And then if you're enjoying the show already, go on and hit that like button. Let me see where we're at with the likes. Right now, we're at 316. I like to get to 500. That's always the goal. We'll see if we can get there as we continue with this live stream. Shout out to the Cookie Crush chat. The Cookie Crush chat is undefeated. Thanks again, Beast Nation, for the super chat. And everyone else who sent in super chats. I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, please let me know. Let's get going here. Let's go right back to this video right here.
Kept your face. Still got the bowls. I kept a lot of memorabilia from you, because
he's lying. I know when he's lying. He's lying right here with his hand movements and shit. He's such a liar. He kept the bowls. Cut it out, Umar.
Since I couldn't have you in my life, I needed to keep something of you close to me. I still have it all.
He's such a liar. Anybody believe this? If you believe this shit, hit the 1. If you know he lying, hit the 2. I mean, really, we could do a poll on that. This guy lies so much. Unbelievable. I'll see your Pan-African ass in court awakening part 2. Anybody believe this? Hit the 1 if you believe it. If you know he lying, hit the 2. Troy said 3. He really lying. Yeah, I know. That's a good point right there, Patriot. Go, really good point. The way Umar treating her, I'm pretty sure he ain't kept shit. You're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. I'm trying to see if anyone believe this shit. Listen, I put 2 in there. I ain't put it in there, but I'll definitely put 2. Look, nobody don't believe this foolishness. He said he got the bowl. He still got the cake. He got the bowl. 2 million. What's up, Black Mario and Josh Avelli? He said he got what else he say? I can't remember, but he just make, what's up, Fairchild? He just making up shit. No, it don't even make no sense. Yeah. Umar's 6 supporters said they voted. Yeah, don't nobody believe you, Umar. Look at Delvon put 2+. Okay, Ike, here we go. How's it going, CM LaCour? Look at Ike. See this? You always starting shit. You started shit with the doors last time with the light coming through. Here we go. Here we go. All right. I don't believe it at all. This guy, he's nuts. Okay, let's get going. Let me get out this chat room. Y'all crazy.
If I'm not mistaken, I used to bring the cake and ice cream to the preschool and to the daycare. I was around, baby.
This guy be lying. He be lying. If I'm not mistaken, what you mean if you're not mistaken? A father gonna remember that. Even before I have kids, I don't really remember stuff like my wife. She remembers every little detail. I have a daughter like that too. They'll remember exact details and dates. And yeah, you remember it was on a Friday and it was about 75 degrees. And I said, what? I said, I don't remember none of that. I have a daughter like that, and my wife is like that. Even still, I remember because I remember like when my wife and I, when we first met, by the time we started dating, we were still dating. I think you were still dating. Yeah, we was kissing, but we were still dating. I mean, one time I was sitting in the, let me stop. Anyway, we must stay focused, family. I remember she used to go to work. I used to drop her off at work. And then there were times when she was on her lunch and I was on my lunch, and I would bring her food to eat. Stuff like that. I remember we used to go to this Chinese restaurant, and they had garlic rice that we used to really like to eat. Yeah, I remember exactly where it was at too. If I went back to Oakland, we drove out there today, I know exactly where to go. See? I remember us sitting in I had a blue Isuzu Trooper. We used to sit inside the blue Isuzu Trooper outside of her apartment. This before she would let me into her apartment. And we were just kind of courting, and we would sit in there for hours. One time we sat in there, we went out to eat, got to her place, parked outside right in front of her apartment, and we sat there. It was probably about 8:30, and we sat there until about 8 a.m. Just sat there talking, listening to music, had a tape deck, put tapes in there, didn't have no CD player at that time. What I'm saying is, you remember these types of things. And if in point of fact, Umar, you did these types of things for your daughter, you would remember that. See, you wouldn't say, if memory serves me correct, you wouldn't do that. See, that's how I know he's lying. He's such a liar. He lies so much, but this is damage control. See, he disparages her, but then he wants to paint himself out as if he was this great father. Yeah, he's a sick and twisted person. He really is. Tori says he needed to keep the bowls of an event. Let's see, he needed to keep the bowls of an event prior to him being ostracized. He knew in advance he was going to be tossed. Yeah. So he had to keep everything just in case, so that when this happens, he can be able to explain all this away. See, it don't even make no sense, because can anybody remember Umar ever telling any stories like this about his daughters? I'm talking about where he did stuff for them and did things with them, and he still has the cake, and he still has the bowls, and he still has the plates, and he still has the balloons. Has anyone ever heard Umar tell any stories like this? And I'm talking about where it sounds as if these things could have happened. Okay, I don't believe that they did, but it sounds okay. It could have, I guess. The point is, I've never heard him tell stories like this. So the question becomes, again, me trying to make it make sense. Okay, why is he trying to tell stories like this? Well, this, like Black Economics was saying, he's trying to do damage control, but he's making things worse. He's made things worse because he's attacking his daughter while he's doing it, and the baby mama, and the daughter's mama. But he's also making it worse because he's lying, and the lies that he's telling are ridiculous. See, and you know what's crazy about this, Tori? He does have followers who actually believe this shit. And you talk with them, they be like, yeah, but he still has the cakes. Huh? He still has the cakes and the plates and the bowls. What? He still kept the cans. They had cans, Coke cans. He still kept them. Huh? Anyway. Umar, wow. He's such a liar. Thanks, Tori. Self-Made says, hey, Lenon, long time no see. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I can't see how he has 5 degrees related to psychology, but has no self-awareness. Unfortunately, I've seen this with some psychologists, even if Umar just have the degrees. Okay, so he has it's a double major in psychology and political science. That was his undergraduate. Okay, he has that degree. Okay, that's the bachelor's. Then he gets a master's in psychology and a master's in I can't remember what it's called. I mean, I can pull it up. There's 2 other masters, and then the third, the PsyD, is in psychology. So he actually has 3 degrees, 3 psychology-related degrees. The other degrees, they're not related to psychology. One is, I can't remember what it's called. Masters of Science, something to that effect. and then the other one is a master of leadership development or some shit like that. I mean, I can pull it up and show it to people, but the point is that he has 3 degrees that are related to psychology. Even still, okay, this guy is batshit crazy. He was a problem back then. You guys realize he got kicked out of PCOM while he was trying to get that PsyD. Most people don't know that about Umar. I've done the research. They kicked his ass out because he was a problem. See? That's why Umar was in college for 20 years. I mean, anyone could, I mean, I shouldn't say anyone, but most people, they can pick up 5 degrees in 20 years. They'll probably pick up a whole lot of debt in the process, hundreds of thousands of dollars in Umar's case. But the bottom line is that he's batshit crazy, but that's not uncommon either. There are people who are in the mental health and they're batshit crazy. You know, they're mental health professionals and they're batshit crazy. See? I mean, you think about it, there's lawyers who are batshit crazy. There's doctors who are batshit crazy. You guys ever hear these stories about these doctors that did some freaky type shit, you know, just real weirdo shit? Okay, those people are batshit crazy. See? So mental health, just because you're a mental health practitioner doesn't mean that you don't have mental health issues. I propose that everyone has something going on. Everybody. This is the nature of being a human being and having trauma. I mean, we all have it. You know, I can't think of anyone that does not or has not had some level of trauma in their life, especially as a child. Most of us have had something. See? And it impacts us in different ways. I'm still, even to this day, I'll be making sure doors are locked and shit. It's a safe neighborhood. Ain't no crime, no shit like that. A car alarm went off the other day, and I was like, what? I was shocked. I ain't heard no car alarm in such a long time. Real peaceful, real quiet, right by the lake. You know, there'd be ducks and shit flying by. Be birds, all kind of birds. Real peaceful, but I'm still in that mindset of protection mode. But that's from childhood trauma. You see, and how I grew up and what we had to deal with that. Me and my siblings and my mama, the kind of bullshit we had to go through back then. We all have something. But just because you're a mental health practitioner or let's say you're a therapist or you're a psychologist doesn't mean that you ain't batshit crazy, because there's plenty of people who are. You see? I'll propose that there. See, the thing is with Umar, he's another example of it. But the thing is that we would like to think that he would have gotten the mental health services that he needed. You guys know that there are mental health practitioners. There are people who are in the field of mental health. Okay, they could be a psychologist, a therapist, you know, family, what they call family therapist, whatever the case may be. And they actually have therapists that they go to. Okay. And oftentimes it's because of the gravity of what they're dealing with as they're trying to help these people and the stuff that these people are going with. They have to deal with it. And then they need to have an outlet to kind of resolve, you know, having to deal with it, if that makes sense. You see? So Umar is an excellent example of this, except for the fact that he doesn't go and get the mental health services that he's needed for a very long time. Listen, there's times where Umar, he's hearing things that are not there. There are times where he's seeing shit and it's not there either. Y'all tell me what's going on. We saw a video recently of this. See, he says he's the most requested scholar and he's a school psychologist. He hasn't worked as a school psychologist since 2010, 2011. He says it's a therapist. He's never been a therapist. School psychologist is not a therapist. See, a mental health expert. He's not a mental health expert. Okay, and I can pull it up and show you how long he worked. It was for a limited amount of time compared to how much time he says. He still claims that he's a school psychologist and this greatest psychologist of all time and blah, blah, blah. He still says that in 2025. That's not true. That's the narcissism. So that's what narcissists do. They'll proclaim there's a delusion of grandeur. They'll proclaim that they've done all of these things. And here's everything that I've done, but they haven't even done a tenth of what they say that they've done. But by saying that they've done all these things, it makes them feel as if they're all great. And then that's what they manipulate people into believing that they are all great. See? And that's what Umar does. Wow. Yeah. And again, the no self-awareness is incredible with Umar. Even the fact that he's sitting inside of his mama's closet, no self-awareness. He's sitting up there looking bummy, no self-awareness. He's sweating like a hog, no self-awareness. He has on a WWF style belt, no self-awareness. See, the optics for Umar is I'm going to put this belt on because I want people to see me in a particular way. That's not self-awareness. What that is that he's trying to manufacture this image that he's big and bad. He has everything under control. He's the champion and can't nobody fuck with him. Real talk. But what he really is a goofy. He's 50 years old, sitting inside of mama closet. He's a struggle streamer. He's streaming outside of his mama closet, sweating and shit, looking like a bum, and he has on a WWF belt and talking shit about his own daughter. What kind of man? Right? But he has no self-awareness. And then the next day, he doesn't reflect and say, maybe I shouldn't have done that. The next day, he doesn't reflect and say, wait a minute, I shouldn't have done that. No, he just keeps going. See, but that's Umar. See, no self-awareness, no introspection, okay? No critical thinking about his behavior, but that's because he's a reactionary. He reacts with emotions. He doesn't respond with intelligence. He never does. See? Again, just because someone has a degree, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or even 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, it doesn't mean that somehow they're automatically exempt from being mentally disturbed. Okay. All right. Thanks, self-made. Good point too. He remembers his first try. Yeah, that's because he always on his first try. Let me stop. Umar's always on his first try. Okay. Thanks, lady. I'm just playing. Miss Independent also says, pay for daycare and visit your kid. Nope. Yeah. See, what Umar should have done, like I said, was he shouldn't have put this online. He should have talked with his daughter initially. And handled all of this offline to the best of his ability, but that's not what he did. See? And again, he's not worrying he ain't worrying about daycare for no babies. He ain't worrying about babies having clothes. He said it was, I can't remember if it was the first or second block party. He was trying to figure out what he wanted to get for the kids that was going to come. And he was online, he was live streaming. And he tells, because he always asking for shit. He tells his audience, he goes, what should I get? What should I get them baby clothes? You know, what should I do? Because I've never purchased any baby clothes. Anybody remember that? Hit the one. I'm not making it up. It's just I would have to go and find it. You know, very disturbing that right there. See, Umar, if you were always in her life consistently from age 1 to 5 or 6, excuse me, from birth to age 5 or 6, why did you never buy any baby clothes? See what I'm saying? I gotta find that just to show you how much of a liar this guy is. See, and then if you were inconsistent, but you were still present in her life up to the age of 10, and remember yesterday, Umar stated when we were watching this video, he stated that he spent more time with the baby initially for the first 5 or 6 years, whatever he said. He spent more time with the baby than the mama did. Well, if that's the case, how is it possible that you never bought no baby clothes? See, this guy lies so much. The truth is that he's a deadbeat. Bottom line, he was then and he is to this day. Thank you, Miss Independent. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get back to the video. Okay, here we go.
Smurf, what do you mean I've never been there? And if you know I wasn't at your middle school graduation because you didn't send me an invitation.
There he goes, blaming her. You should go without her having to send an invitation. That just goes to show you're absent. You're a deadbeat. We got 1,100 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button. I appreciate it. Here we go.
You know why I wasn't at your high school graduation. You didn't send me an invitation. So why are you acting like you don't know why I wasn't there? Neither you nor your mother sent me an invitation to anything, and you had my number because you were texting me. You were not thinking about me. Why didn't you crash out in high school?
What do you mean you weren't thinking of why would you see how sick this guy is? Did anyone catch that? I mean, there's so much that we can pick out of this, but what kind? Yeah, first of all, he's sassy. They're very sassy. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. It's all about me. You weren't thinking about me. That's your daughter. What are you talking about? You should be thinking about her. That's narcissism too. Yeah. This is what it is, Didi. Thank you for saying it this way. The direction is backwards. As a parent, you should be thinking about your child. It's not the onus is not on the child. Responsibility is not on the child to be thinking about you and what you want and what you need. That's crazy. Yeah. No one sends invitations for junior. No one sends why would you? If this is your daddy, why would you send any? Listen, real talk. If it's your mama or your daddy, you gonna send invitations for? Come on, that's ridiculous. Umar is let me keep going. Anyway, let's keep going. This guy, he crazy.
I would have loved you to do this in high school.
Because if you would have done this in high school, I would have said, great. When is the next parent-teacher conference? I would have said, great. When is the next back-to-school conference? I would have said, great. When's the graduation? When's the prom? I'm paying for everything. Why didn't you crash out in high school?
What you mean you paying for everything? Cut it out, Umar. You weren't even present. It's almost laughable that a child needs to think about him. This is the reason he can't leave his mother's closet. He wants a parent. You're absolutely right. That's why he wants two wives. He wants the two wives to take care of him. Like Drea said so eloquently years ago, actually. Okay. That what Umar's looking for, he's looking for women to take care of him like mother, like they're his mothers. That's why he wants two of them. And that's why he always returns to his comfort, like I said at the beginning of this live stream, which is what? His mama's closet, which he's live streaming from right now. You know how crazy this is? This guy's been a deadbeat for all of his children. He was consistent in the first baby's life from age 5 to 6, based on what he said, which I highly doubt anyway, but we're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. And then by the time she's 10, he's absent. He wants to blame the baby mama, but he made a choice. He abandoned his career. He abandoned this child and that baby mama, and he went and pursued this black conscious bullshit. See? But I want everyone to think about this for a moment. For him to be live streaming and telling all the business from his twisted vantage point, okay, but speaking ill of his daughter, demeaning and disrespecting his daughter, and doing it inside of his mama's closet. Listen, you can't make that shit up. See, the levels of dysfunction is incredible. He's doing out of his mama's closet, and the daughter that he's going in on and disrespecting, demeaning, she didn't even know that Umar's mama was still alive. You see how twisted this shit is? Did you all know that she didn't even know? And I don't mean to be speaking specifically about her, because I'm trying to, right now. I know she's going through a lot of stuff, so I'm being very careful. But she did say, with all due respect, she did say, and care, she did say that she didn't even know that Umar's original name was Jermaine Shoemake, which also means that she doesn't know the Shoemake side. She didn't even, because she thought that the grandmama already passed, their biological grandmama already passed away. And yet Umar's doing this live streaming from his mama's closet. It really is. Yeah. When did she say that? I have it all downloaded. Anybody remember that? Hit the one. She didn't even know that her Umar Johnson's original name was Jermaine Shoemake. She didn't even know that. Okay? But again, she wasn't involved in that side of the family, because Umar, again, deadbeat, and the information wasn't passed on to her. She didn't even know that she had a sibling until more recently. She actually has at least two other ones. She didn't know that Umar had other babies. Yeah. How's it gonna let me see your transfer? Umar ain't got no pictures. Where's he gonna keep them at? How's boy doing, by the way? Well, everybody want to get a dog. I said I don't want to do it, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be the one to be taking care of it. I'm so busy with stuff. I don't feel like doing it. I mean, I don't mind, but they always do this to me. Yeah, can we get a cat? Can we get a dog? Then we get one. Then they say, no, I'm gonna take care of it. I'll make sure I'll pick up the poo. I'll take it out to walk and all this stuff. And then we get the animal, and guess who's out there? And guess who's picking up the poo? Me. But I think we're gonna do it though. Anyway, I think it'll be good. Anyway, give boy a hug for me. Hope you got some treats for him. Okay. Let's see. Real quick. Livy P says, and why doesn't she have a relationship with her grandmother? That's grandma's fault. It's complicated. And just real quickly, the grandmama, again, Umar has been a deadbeat. Okay, he's not present in her life. She doesn't know that side of the family. And listen, at this point, real talk, the grandmama is wheelchair bound. Okay, I'm not making excuses, but what I'm saying that ultimately it should be Umar's responsibility to not only be present, but then also to keep the other family members involved in this life. But really what Umar, he didn't want anything to do with her. See? And let me tell you something about Umar, because he's possessive, he's very controlling. He didn't want his family members to be dealing with her either. Because we have audio of him going, he was mad at his daddy because his daddy went to go see the child, and he felt like because the daddy had pictures, but Umar was mad because he couldn't go see the child allegedly, and that he didn't have pictures. See? But the truth of the matter is that the child should have been aware of that side of the family, and that side of the family should have been. But again, in the midst of extreme family dysfunction, she gets lost in the sauce, as it were. So I wouldn't blame the grandmama. I would blame Umar in the first place. You know, I would blame Umar. I'm not making excuses, but see, the family dynamic is so disjointed. Okay, I don't mean to speak on this too much, but it's so disjointed that these types of things are not. It's not extraordinary. But the central theme in all of this, that what is constant, the common denominator, as it were, is Umar. See? If you have a child and you decide not to be a participant in that child, you should still make efforts to make sure that other family members who want to be involved in that child's life has a gateway to be in. But see, again, Umar was abusive based upon what his daughter said. He was controlling, et cetera, et cetera. And the daughter and her family that raised her, they don't want to have anything to do with Umar. See? So whose fault is that? Well, that's Umar's fault. Just like his second baby mama don't want to have anything to do with Umar. Well, whose fault is that? It's Umar. See, he's a bully type. I'm gonna tell you something about Umar. He likes to bully women. See, he'll try to bully a man. See, he fucked up when he tried to pull that. But see, I'll bully the bully. That's the kind of person I am. I'm cool. I'm chilling. But you do that. You try to pull some shit like that on me. Okay, let's go. See. But when it comes to women, he will bully the shit out of a woman. He will demean and disrespect them, and he'll do it to his own daughter online for the world to see while he's live streaming inside the mama closet. See? That's Umar. Okay, let's keep going here. Ain't nothing but a Tuesday party. Ain't nothing but a Tuesday party. Who was that? Was that Tupac? Ain't nothing but a gangster. Wasn't that Tupac? I think that was Tupac. I can't remember. He wasn't no gangster either, by the way. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. We're gonna leave that right there. Thanks, Beast Nation. User 225 says, imagine Umar trying to run MFA's bypass on. What? Run MFA bypass on. What is MFA bypass? What are you talking about? Let me go look it up. They better not be nothing crazy. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Multi-factor authentication. I'm sorry. I'm thinking it's like a world wrestling a move or something like that. Anyway, yeah, you're talking about multi-factor authentication. My bad. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Self-Made says, so do you think that Umar Johnson has the Peter Pan syndrome because of the WWE sayings and entire lack of accountability, responsibility, emotional immaturity, and unrealistic goals? Yes, I think that could be said. Because there are people who speculated that Michael Jackson had that. Umar does not know how to operate in the real world. He doesn't understand basic responsibility, adult responsibilities, which also includes taking care of your children. He doesn't understand that. He doesn't handle basic business. He doesn't have his own place. He doesn't have his own car. Yeah, he's stuck in a state of arrested development. So yeah, I think that could be applied to Umar, the Peter Pan complex. You know, wanting to be a child and being a child. So, but I don't know though. I don't know if it's something that he wants per se, that he wants to be like a child for the rest of his life. But he is like a child and has been and he is currently at the age of 50. So I think that it can be applied to Umar. I mean, Cooker Chat, what do y'all think? You think it applies to Umar? Hit the one. If not, hit the two. Let me just real quick. Peter Pan syndrome. Peter Pan syndrome is a non-clinical term used to describe adults who exhibit immature, childlike behaviors and avoid adult responsibility. Yeah, it can be applied to Umar. Yeah. It can be applied. Immature and irresponsible behavior. Okay, that's Umar. Even him doing this rant is very immature and irresponsible as a parent. A lack of interest in career or life goals. Again, Umar doesn't have an interest in the field of psychology as a goal in life, as a career, because he hasn't worked as a school psychologist since 2010, 2011. He's more interested in being, the so-called Black leader. Avoidance of commitments and relationships. Okay, when's the last time you heard Umar talk about being in a long-standing committed relationship? I've never heard him say that at all. Okay. Dependence on others for emotional support. Well, that would be his mama. That's also his followers too, because when he gets online and he says things like, give me hearts, you follow me, that's what he wants the women. Give me some fist pounds or fist pumps from the men. Okay, that's him, because he's insecure, and so therefore he's dependent on others for emotional support. Self-centeredness and narcissism. Okay, we already know that. Difficulty with impulse control. Him doing this live stream is he doesn't have impulse control. It's like what I said. He reacts emotionally. He can't control his impulse. This is a serious problem with Umar. See, the SETI rant is another example of that. Inability to cope with stress and adversity. Yeah, this is another example of this right now. See, Umar has a lot of stressors, but when it comes to people speaking out about him, in particular women, he will go off. And see, the SETI rant, he went off. The main reason why he went off on SETI was because SETI was talking about how he was seeking to sexually exploit these Black women. Okay, so it always goes back to women for him. He makes him very upset, and then what does he do? He gets stressed out, and then he has an inability to cope with the stress and the adversity, and then what does he do? He lashes out like he's doing in this video, or like he did in the SETI rant. See? Yeah, so I think it can definitely be applied to Umar. Him having a WWF belt, there's times where here's another example. There's times where Umar's doing live streams, and he'll bring out a toy, and he'll just hold it. It'd be like a lion figurine or a baby gator head or a globe that glows, and he'll just be holding it like this while he's talking. See? Yeah, I think it definitely applies to Umar. Okay. Thank you, Self-Made, for the super chat. Okay, did I get to everyone? Oh, okay, and then user 225 says, imagine Umar. Okay, I got this one. I really thought that this was because I was thinking MMA for some reason when I looked at that. I was thinking it was something like a WWF type of wrestling move. Okay, when you talk about multi-factor authentication, I have it on my phone too. I actually have the fingerprint, and I also have the code, obviously, and then I have face recognition. There's other things too. We actually studied that in cybersecurity, different ways to gain access to systems. Okay, Beast Nation says, ain't none. Oh, I got that one earlier. I thought that was Tupac. Just Jay says, where that thug Tomcat y'all had, Lenon? He was always fighting. You talking about his name? That was we had so many cats. Oh my God, we had so many cats and baby cats, and that was Sylvester. Yeah, that was Sylvester. Sylvester, he was my favorite. Sylvester, we used to kick it all the time. Sylvester, he grew up, he got older, and then he started disappearing. He wouldn't show up. We wouldn't see him for a week at first, and he'll show up, and then we wouldn't see him for 2 weeks at a time. He wouldn't show up, and then he wouldn't come back for a month. And then at a certain point, we didn't see him for like 6 months, and then he just showed up. I was telling my kids that cats are like that, especially the male cats, because if they have another place they go to that they're more comfortable, or if there's a female cat that they've been dealing with, not to say it like that, but that they've been dealing with, they'll go on that side of town and they just be hanging out. Because I remember one time I was driving, it was a couple of miles away from the house to our old house, and I was driving and I looked over and Sylvester's walking up. I said, what in the world is he doing over here? But that's something people don't know about cats. They do a lot of traveling at night, like miles. But what I think, and I used to tell the kids was, because they used to be kind of sad about it. I said, no, don't be sad about it, because he probably has another family somewhere. I meant like a cat family. He probably impregnated another cat, so he's still hanging out in that area. Cats will do that, and then there's probably people who are feeding him in that area too. And then so he would show up every once in a while. But then by the time we moved, like he hadn't shown up. It was probably about 4 or 5 months, so we didn't see him again. I miss him. He was a great cat. And then we still had another cat. I called her Kitty. She used to hang out with me the most. I had a friend. I took her to a friend of mine to hold while we were making this move. And when I took her over there, I had her inside. This is crazy. I had her inside one of them cat cages, and he had these little dogs. And I didn't think about it, but when I handed him over, because he was gonna hold on to her for a couple of days. When I handed her over, he was looking in, and then she heard his dogs. They could probably sense that it was a cat outside the door. They start yelling and stuff, and she freaked out and jumped out and ran out and ran across the street. We were trying to catch her. We couldn't catch her and haven't seen her since. So that was that. But anyway, at this point, she probably has a better life anyway, because that was a really nice neighborhood. But anyway, my kids, they want a dog, and my wife wants a dog. But if I get one, then you guys know I'm going to be the one taking care of it. That's the only reason why I don't want to get one. But we're going to see. Okay, anyway. Yeah, if you guys been around, you guys remember all the cats, and we had a dog and all that stuff. Thank you so much, Just Jay, for the super chat. Okay, let's get back into it. We got to get going here. We're doing good on time. We'll probably go for another hour, and then we'll pick up tomorrow where we left off. Hopefully, we can get to this whole video today. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so if you're enjoying the show. Let me check on this poll right quick. 973 votes is a 50-year-old unemployed homeless deadbeat streaming in his mama's closet a struggle streamer. 93% say yes, 7% say no. We have about 405 likes. Our goal today is 500. Okay, so if you're enjoying the show and you haven't hit the like button yet, we're at 404. Make sure you hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. Okay, all right, let's get back to it. Here we go. No. Information, man. I think so. I think she did. Because that area, there was like $1 million homes up over there. I mean, these homes had like 7 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms and shit. It's incredible. So yeah, she probably had a better life. I told the children the same thing about Sylvester. I said, no, he has a better life, because otherwise he would be coming back here. But male cats in particular, they have no loyalty. And like I say, some of those, if there's a better situation, I'm out of here. Yeah, he sure was. He was out there in them streets. Okay. All right, let's get going here, everybody. Here we go.
I still got the bowls. I kept a lot of memorabilia from you, because since I couldn't have you in my life, I needed to keep something of you close to me. I still have it all.
He lying.
If I'm not mistaken, I used to bring the cake and ice cream to the preschool and to the daycare. I was around, baby.
He's making that shit up. Boy, Umar, you a trip. Yeah, my daughter let me know she's gonna be home. I didn't even have to ask. She texted me. Thank you so much, baby. She's such a good daughter. She's such a good daughter. All my kids, some of them crazy, but for the most part, no matter what, I love them though. But now he talk about I take the cake and the ice cream to your school. You lying, Umar? Cut it out.
Murph, what do you mean I never been there? And if you know I wasn't at your middle school graduation because you didn't send me an invitation.
Why would a child have to send your bum ass an invitation? It's your child.
You know why I wasn't at your high school graduation. You didn't send me an invitation. So why you?
She shouldn't have to. Umar, you're her father. Anyway.
You acting like you don't know why I wasn't there. Neither you nor your mother sent me an invitation to anything, and you had my number because you were texting me. You were not thinking about me.
Look at this. He said you were not thinking about me.
You crash out in high school. I would have loved you to do this in high school, because if you would have done this in high school, I would have said, great. When is the next parent-teacher conference? I would have said, great.
Yeah, this is what you call shifting the blame. It's a form of gaslight. You're absolutely right. He does a lot of that. Narcissists do that, though, a lot. They gaslight.
When is the next back-to-school conference? I would have said, great. When's the graduation? When's the prom? I'm paying for everything.
Yeah.
Why didn't you crash out in high school? You know why you didn't crash out on high school? If you say something stupid, I'm going to block you. Nobody gave up, and nobody is lacking accountability. If you say something stupid, I'm going to block you. Nobody gave up. Nobody is lacking accountability.
They can't justify this.
Say something stupid, I'm going to block you.
Look at, here he go. Yeah, that's a good point, Brandon. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's like Black Anonymous was saying. He actually making it worse. He's proving her point. No, he didn't call her mama. He just being sassy. What's up, last call?
With that being said, I was at parties and I was at a graduation. You can't go where you don't know to be.
Yeah, this is so true. Listen, Umar, you should at least know what school she went to. You're a school psychologist, right, at that time, right? Shouldn't you know at least? Well, no, not necessarily, because you weren't a school psychologist when she graduated from high school. You hadn't worked as a school psychologist in 2010, 2011. But it's still your responsibility. See, that's what I'm saying. Umar, he's irresponsible. That's the Peter Pan complex. He's so irresponsible. He doesn't even recognize that that's his responsibility to be in contact with his daughter, to know when she's graduating, to know what school she goes to, and to know when she needs to go. See, the thing is, listen, there's something called the internet, Umar. And when your daughter graduates, wasn't too long ago either, all you have to do is type in her school and then type in graduation date. and it'll be on there. And then you can get your bum ass out your mama closet and go to it. And make sure you take a shower before you do. Make sure you put on some clean clothes. Don't come up there bummy. Okay? You can't put that on the baby. I'm sorry, you can't put that on your child. That's your responsibility. He's ridiculous. Let me see. Transcript made a good point. Says she's 22 and now on her own. Who reached out to her father and got rejected? That's exactly what took place. That's why she's crashing out. Yeah, that's why she's crashing out. See, she had already been rejected for over 10, 11, 12 years. She had been rejected by her father. And then here we are, all these over a decade later, she's trying to reach back out. Now, again, initially she said she just wants to get in contact with her sister. I do think she did. She wanted to get in contact with her sister, but I think that there's always been a part of her that wanted to connect back to her father, which is normal and natural. It's normal and natural for human, especially at that age. See? But what does Umar do? He rejects her again. And then he does videos like this, and then she crashes out. She's crashing out not because Umar did the right thing, but because Umar did the wrong thing. And then he continues to make it worse. See? And then and the most telling part about all this, let me see his transcript, is the fact that Umar he only sees this from the vantage point of me. It's everyone else's fault, including his daughter. See? And you didn't tell me, and you didn't do it, and blah blah blah. It's always him. That's the narcissism. See? No self-awareness whatsoever. Did I get all super chats real quick? Yeah, I got that one. Yeah, you talk about the Sylvester. Okay, let's go.
So to say I wasn't at your graduations when you know your mother is the reason and you didn't bother to send me the invitation, you had my phone number. Why you
She shouldn't have to, Umar. That's your responsibility. This guy, he's sick.
didn't invite me to your graduation? We already know the answer. Your mother didn't want me there. Stop lying.
Damn.
That whole rant of yours was filled with lies. Let me continue. I'm not making this video to bash him, but to state facts. You stated lies. You didn't state any facts. And then you called me out my name multiple times.
So what?
You called me out of my name with curse words multiple.
So what? You're a deadbeat. You don't get any special privilege. I don't get that. Listen, if you're a deadbeat, and you think that somehow you deserve some level of respect just because you're a sperm donor that abandoned the children, then you're going to get on here and talk shit about them? Jamal, Umar? No, life don't work like that. I don't know what world that some of these people living in. See, that's how they're detached. I mean, the kids these days is different. And listen, one of my sons, he be talking crazy. They don't talk crazy to me, but he be gaming with his friends, and he be talking all kind of crazy. One time I said, "Son, why are you talking?" He said, "Well, Dad, you be cursing." So I say, "Yeah, I curse for the Cook Crush chat, but you curse, you don't even sound right." He started laughing. But the point that I'm making is they're not directing that to me. That's what they do when they're with their friends. I got to be understand they're grown. I mean, they're with their friends and they talking. Okay, whatever, But that's a different dynamic. We're talking about deadbeats here. And they expect that by them being absent, that somehow they deserve some level of respect from their child. See, even Jamal, let me pull it up. Let me give you guys an example. Watch this. See, this idea of I don't know what we can call it, automatic success, built-in, automatic respect or built-in respect just because you're a sperm donor. Listen, you're a deadbeat. If you're a deadbeat, you're a deadbeat. See, either make that right or just, don't expect that somehow your children have to. It's a different age. This is 2025. See, these kids these days, they're dealing with totally different dynamics these days, and they've been exposed to things that we weren't exposed to when we were growing up. That's the nature of living in the information age with the internet, social media, so forth and so on. This notion that automatically, that you can be disrespectful to your child, you can beat on the child, you can abandon the child, you can abuse the child verbally, physically, and what have you, that somehow they still have to give you some level of respect. Life don't work like that. Okay? Now, if you're present and you're a loving parent, you don't even have to worry about that shit. See? So what's the issue? Is it the child, or it's this these deadbeat daddies or deadbeat mamas that's out here running around in these streets? See, it's the deadbeats. It's not the child's issue. Okay. Let me play this for you all.
Hold our kids to be treated with hold our kids accountable, to be treated with respect, and not to let them think that they can keep doing it and there's not going to be any accountability. We've all made mistakes. We've all hopefully sought some apology for that mistake. But don't ever let your child make you think that because of your human feelings, that they have the right to treat you like a dog. And if you do, then believe me, that dog will bite you one day. So the one thing to do with a rabid dog, get rid of it.
Damn.
And that's rabid, whether in mental, spiritual, or psychological. You gotta put it down. And if that means to cast them out of your life, that's what you have to do.
Okay, he's talking about Umar right here. Listen to what he says next.
That's what you have to do. I love all of my children. But God knows, and I say that sincerely, when I feel threatened, when I feel extremely hurt, and I know it's intentional, when I feel extremely disrespected, and I know it's intentional, there's only one recourse. You're dead to me.
So how can you say that to Umar and then expect Umar to respect you in return? See, life doesn't work like that. I don't know what altered reality people are living in. See, you have to have love and compassion for your child, even if they're online fucking up, to where you're not demeaning and disrespecting them online and going against them, clout chasing and shit. Just like I said, shut your fucking mouth and deal with it offline. But if you go here where you're saying making statements like this about Umar, and again, I'm not a defender of Umar, you can't expect Umar to respect you. Umar didn't have respect for him anyway. See, but you can't expect him to have respect for you at that point when you said that you're dead to me. See, well, this same thing applies to Umar. Okay, it's the deadbeat philosophy that if you're the sperm donor, that automatically the child that comes out of your donation, that somehow that child has to have respect for you no matter what. Life don't work like that. See? So yeah, she called Umar out of his name, and see? Now, if Umar was present in her life and treated her with love and kindness and was present and wasn't online talking all this crazy shit, would she be doing that? No, because her daddy would have been in her life and they would have built a relationship based upon care from him, because it's the onus on the parent in the first place, and then respect given to the parent based upon the parent behaving and acting like a parent should towards their child. But that's not what we have with Umar. See? Let's keep going. Here we go. And then he said, have a good day. Damn. Said, you dead to me. Have a good day.
Little girl, please know when we meet up, don't you try to talk to me the way you talk to me on social media. You will be disappointed. Please get a hold of yourself. I don't know what you and your mom got going on over there, but I'm telling you right now, you will not disrespect me. I've never called my mother or father out of their name in my whole life.
I don't know if that's true, because you said some things about your daddy. I don't know about that, Umar. I don't believe that shit right there.
I've never called my mother or father out of their name. You got one time to call me out of my name to my face. I promise you, you won't do it again.
That's a threat. Hit the one. Black people, we know how we talk. Man, you bet not. If you say anything else, that's a threat. Umar online threatening his own daughter. Damn. That's crazy. If we meet up, you better not say. He's on here threatening his daughter. It's time for Mr. Vegan and Mr. Smurf, the mother's significant others, to pay Umar a visit. He needs to be checked properly. I don't think that. Actually, I think it would make a difference for Umar because he's such a bitch. He's a coward. See, it would make it, and I'm not condoning it, and I'm not saying that this should happen. But what I'm saying is that Umar would definitely back off if there were men who stepped to him up to the plate and checked him on this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking anything violent or anything like that, but if they checked him, like really, as we should say, G checked his ass. See, he would back down because he's a coward. He's a bitch. Would I condone that? No, not necessarily. I think the best thing for either baby mama to do is to simply take notes, and then if necessary, in particular, the second baby mama is to have all the receipts so that when they go to court, she can present that to the judge. See, and just use his own words and the threats. And even though he hasn't threatened the other baby mama, at least not yet, she can use, the second baby mama could use what he's saying about the daughter and the threats being made against the daughter and the threats that were made against the mama before that, and also the threats that were made against the second baby mama, that Umar said that if you don't produce my baby, then I'm going to expose you in 2 weeks. She can take all that to the judge. So there'll be justice that can be served based upon that, you see. But Umar, the way that he is, he'll keep going and going and going until either it no longer serves him to continue to do this, because it really does. It serves him. It brings him attention. It makes him feel, people thinking that he's the victim, even though he's the one that abandoned his children. Either that takes place or someone really steps to him. And then it had to be a man, and then he would step down because he's bitch made. Okay? I said it, and it's true. See, he ain't got no street in him. He's a coward. He's always been a coward. What he does is he looks towards people that he thinks that he can bully. And with me, he fuck with the wrong one. See, it ain't gonna work with me. You can act all big and bad as much as you want to, but at the end of the day, you know, Umar, he's marshmallow. There's no street in him whatsoever, none. Okay. So this all to say, it would make a difference in the sense that Umar, he would back down because Umar will be confrontational towards women, and he'll go all over the top, and he seeks to intimidate them, and he will intimidate women all day. But if real men step to him, he'll back down because that's how he is. See, you notice he ain't saying my name no more. He'll reference me. He'll say, yeah, that YouTuber blah. I don't know. We know he's talking about me, but he's not going to say it. See, because he doesn't want his followers coming up over here, and there's going to be a conversion rate. They're going to be followers that are going to see what the information that I present on him and the receipts that I provide. I got all the receipts. I'll present them. I'll give my analysis. Could CashApp give their analysis, and they're going to be a conversion rate. People are going to wake up to the truth. See, even though Umar was trying to threaten me and bully me, I'm not scared. I don't live like that. I just don't live my life. I'm not scared of any man. That's real talk. Okay. Alligators. Yeah. Okay. Lions. Yeah, I get it. Elephants. Yeah. Okay. But other men, no. Okay. See, but he thought that by trying to intimidate me that I was going to back down, but he thought wrong. See, that's why Umar to this day, he's scared. He's scary. See, he was, I'll tell y'all, some of y'all remember, he was throwing my name out there and saying all kind of crazy shit. He don't say it these days because he know what time it is. Punk. All right. Thanks, Barbie. I've been wanting to say punk all month. I know this is we're the first of the month, but I've been wanting to say okay. Parbia says exactly no violence. Yeah. No violence. But if they step to him and checked him, which is called G checking. G checking doesn't mean there has to be violence involved, but words have to be exchanged and then put Umar in his place. See, Umar, he's used to bullying people. See, but there are also people who they don't bully people, but they will, if the bully tries to bully them, they'll bully the bully, and that's me. Okay. Livey P says he is more hurt by how she made him look online than hurt by what he actually did to her. Crazy work. Yeah. But Jamal Johnson was the same way. Jamal Johnson did the same thing to Umar. He was hurt because of how Umar's behavior was reflecting poorly on him as a father. Okay. He wasn't hurt by what he did to Umar. See? That's what I'm saying. It's a transference. See? It's just passed down. And hopefully that cycle is broken with the next generation. Hopefully. See? But it's just a transference. See, they're more concerned with how they appear to the public than they are about their transgressions and rectifying their transgressions with their children. And as a parent, that's a very backward way of living. It's a backward approach. See? Yeah, this is very true. Let me read this again. Umar is more hurt by how she, meaning his daughter, made him look online than hurt by what he actually did to her. Crazy work. Yeah, and crazy work is true because Umar, he doesn't feel as if he's done anything wrong. You see how he's trying to paint this narrative that he's the victim? He wants to blame everyone else. He doesn't want to hold himself accountable. He's even blaming his daughter. See? But that's Umar. Again, that's the crazy work part. See? That's the stuff that I can't make sense of, except for the fact that Umar doesn't care. He doesn't care about her whatsoever. See? What Umar should be concerned about is how his daughter is doing. When Umar was online going nuts, what Jamal should have been concerned about was how Umar was doing and what could he do to help Umar to get back on track. See? What he could do to mend his relationship with Umar in the first place so that there is a level of respect that is created, and then ultimately guidance can be provided to Umar from his father to get him on the right track. But that wasn't done. See, same thing with Umar. He should have taken this time to build a bridge back into his daughter's life, mend the relationship over time, and so that respect levels is there, and then he can help to guide her in the appropriate direction. But that's not what he did. What he does, he gets online, and he chastises her, calls her names, demeans her. She's a YouTube struggle streamer, and then he does these 2 videos the other day, and we see what the outcome is in terms of his daughter's mental health. See? At some point, these types of cycles have to be broken, right? Obviously, with Umar, it wasn't broken, okay? Thank you for the super chat. And then Golden Child says, I bet you he threatened her mama the same way. Yeah, I'm sure of it. Umar, he's an abuser. He's threatened his donors. You guys remember the video where Umar said, all y'all got to give me a sum $250,000 damn dollars. Then he says, trifling ass black people. And I'm going to say it like I mean it. And if you don't like it, we can handle it outside. What? He's talking to his donors. See, he's an abuser. He threatens people. He trying to threaten me. What shit, boy? That's the thing. I'm real cool and peaceful, but don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. I don't care how big and bad you think you are. Don't do that. But yeah, I'm fairly certain that he threatened these baby mamas. He's online threatening his own daughter. See, if he's doing that online to his own daughter, what y'all thinking he's done offline with his baby mamas? See. Thanks, Golden Child. I appreciate the super chat. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Let's get back to it here. Here we go.
I promise you won't do it again. You could do it on the internet all you want. It will not be accepted face to face. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave it right there. Then you said,
yeah, it is.
You reached out to me. You reached out to me from an email. I asked you to text me from a number. You text me from 2 different numbers. So I knew you were playing on my phone.
What?
Either you or somebody else. So I stopped texting you. I'm not a child. You don't play games with me.
No, this don't even make no sense. He's coming up with a whole false narrative, gaslighting. You see what he's doing here? This is his excuse as to why he stopped responding to her. Umar, cut it out. Boy, this guy, he's something else.
You don't keep texting me from different numbers. I don't play them games. And because I didn't play your game, in less than 48 hours, you went to the internet.
Yep.
Because I didn't play your game, in less than 48 hours, you went to the internet. You was going to the internet anyway. You just needed an excuse. You were going to the internet anyway, but you needed a story to make it look like you wasn't an opportunist.
Someone said,
you didn't want people to think you were shopping for clout. I want to meet my sister. You didn't want to meet her in high school. You didn't want to meet her on your 18th birthday. You didn't want to meet her when
that's because she didn't know that she had another sibling, Umar.
you was 21. But you just woke up a couple weeks ago. You just woke up and said, I want to meet my other sister. While you call your sister Bees. Call that little girl a B-I-T-C-H. You going to be a role model for who now? You going to be a role model for who now?
I see his point right here, but that's not the issue. The issue is that she wanted to meet her sibling. Okay, which is something that should have been fostered by Umar. See? Black Wolf says, I'm late, but F Umar, he has always talked bad on black men and sweet talking black women, but now he talking bad on black mothers to pull in black men. You're absolutely right about it. That's what I mean by he's a shapeshifter. And it's true. He's gone at black men on all kinds of issues. Meanwhile, he's a deadbeat, don't take care of his kids. He's a baby mama creator ain't been married once, ain't once been in a long-standing relationship, don't even take care of his kids, been on child support for over 22 years. He got 3 baby mamas out here. Okay? But he's talked so much shit about black men over the years. And not just the successful black men, you know, the celebrities and you know, the sports athletes, but he's talking in general black men that y'all ain't shit. Real talk. See? And then come to find out he's a complete hypocrite. But then now that he's been called out by his daughter, and you see a lot of women are recoiling from Umar because they realize the truth that he's a deadbeat and he's a hypocrite. What does he do? Well, he flips it around. He shapeshifts. And now he's trying to galvanize black men together to fight against these crazy black baby mamas out here. And you'll be amazed. There's a lot of black men who are deadbeats and ain't shit. They're going for it. They're like, yeah, well, you know, my baby mama was the same way. And yeah, I had the same experience. Well, you know what? Yeah, I told you, yeah, we rocking with Umar now. Yeah, but he was just talking shit about you for the last 10 years. But now here with all this coming out, all of a sudden, see? And then there's women are like, yeah, but you know, he used to talk so well about black women. No, he was just running game. Come on now. He was running game on y'all. A lot of y'all believed in that shit, but he wasn't living that lifestyle because he's a hypocrite. And as soon as this pop off, what does he do? Now he's attacking you black women. Now y'all ain't shit. Okay? And if at some point Black Wolf, it suits him, he'll shapeshift again. See? He'll shapeshift again. And then now all of a sudden you black queens, yeah, black queens forever, for real. And these black men out here ain't shit. They need to be taking care of their kids. They need to be marrying these single black mothers, blah, blah, blah. See? That's Umar. He's a shapeshifter. That's why I'm saying he's the great deceiver of our time. He's a con man. He's a master manipulator. And he's done it right here. We've seen it as plain as day. See? Thank you, Black Wolf, for super chat. You're absolutely right on that. Mm-hmm. Someone said, Lenon, you should have an Umar soundboard and play sounds of him to the stream. No, I could. Yeah, but what would I put on there? You know, him saying, focus. Okay, here we go.
And then she says, I don't want anything out of you, just a conversation. We could have had a conversation.
Yeah, he sure does. Yep, y'all remember he said, signing the bitches, hit the one. Umar said, I'm going to sign the bitches. He sure did.
For 12 years.
12
I
years.
invited you to a conversation. Every time we text or spoke, I invited you to meet and you never followed through.
Okay, show us these texts, Umar. Here we go.
How dare you lie on me like that? I just want a conversation. Why we didn't have the conversation when you texted me and said you was at Philadelphia radio, Word 900 AM. You said, Dad, I was at the radio station today. You remember that? About a year or two ago, you said, Dad, I was at the radio station. I said, when can I see you? When can I see you? And like always, you ghost and you just want a conversation. You are a liar.
Damn,
you did not want a conversation. You could have had a conversation. Stop lying. And then she said, you should never be too busy for your daughter. When have I ever been too busy for you? When?
Umar, if you admitted that you've been absent for over a decade, what are you talking about? You hear this guy? He's been he admitted that he's been absent for over a decade, but he says, when have I not had time for you? What in the world? This is what you call gaslighting right here. Umar, something else.
Have I ever been too busy for you? You should never be too busy for your daughter. When have I ever been too busy for you? And that takes me to the evil vegan.
Here we go.
Because the evil vegan put a post up a couple years ago. Baby mama number 2, the evil vegan, put a post up. And we're going to get to her in a minute. And she said, he doesn't see his daughter, and I'm paraphrasing, but she said, because somebody sent it to me. It was on her Facebook, I think.
Okay, no, listen, Umar, you need to show this receipt. I don't believe it at all, because she's been largely offline. Okay, you need to show the receipt. This is why I'm saying, if any of you Umar Johnson followers, you never assume that what he's saying is true. You assume that what he's saying is false, and then the responsibility is on him to prove that what he says is true. So if he says that someone sent him a post, which I don't think they did, because I've never seen that post, okay, and I've done my research, all right? If he says that someone sent them a post, then he should be able to show you that post. He should be able to show you a screenshot of that post. He should be able to provide a link to that post. Just like if I say something, I can provide you with a screenshot. I can provide you with the video. I just pulled the video that someone had asked for earlier. We're going to get into that in just a moment. I can provide you with a link where you can find it on if it's on YouTube, if it's on Facebook. See? But don't assume that what Umar's saying is automatically true because he lies all the time. I don't believe this at all. He's just trying to find an excuse to degrade and demean and disrespect the second baby mama. Here we go.
And she said he doesn't see his daughter because he's too busy running around the world.
Umar, can you please clean your fingernails? Please. Can you just get some soap? Okay. Get some soap. First of all, get out your mama closet. First of all. Okay. Open up that little open up that slide door on the side. All right. Okay. First of all, get out that funky chair. Stand up, get out that funky chair. And then I want you to go open up that sliding door and then go over there to that bathroom and wash your dirty, crusty fingernails. I'm just tired of it. Up in here, sweating in here like a hog inside your mama closet with dirty ass fingernails. How your fingernails look like your let me stop. Let me stop. I'm going too far. Here we go.
Saving black people, something like that. And then she said,
man, you need anyway.
He has failed to keep his appointments with his daughter. Baby mom number 2, evil vegan. When did I ever have an appointment with my daughter? Baby mom number 2, evil vegan. When did I ever have an appointment with my daughter? When did I ever have an appointment with my daughter?
Yeah.
So you've been lying just like Mama Smurf.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that next. Let's see. We're at the 33-minute mark. Let's go to 35 minutes on this one, and then we'll do a quick break with the Snow Bunny love, and then we'll come back with Umar losing his voice, and then we'll get back into this video, and then we'll start winding down the show. That'll be the plan. Okay. I'll play the Umar bubble bath. The bubble bath. The bubble bath. Okay, I'll do it. I'll pull up the bubble bath. Y'all crazy.
Both of y'all been lying to the world, telling them I don't want to be bothered because you don't want to tell the truth. He didn't marry me, so I didn't want him around. You will be with both of us, or you will be with neither one of us. That's what Mama Smurf told me.
I don't believe
Mama Smurf said, you will be with both of us, or you will be with neither one of us.
Thanks,
and
Black
then
Wolf.
Baby Smurf says, my mama didn't want to marry you. Tell your mom to swear on the Bible.
Baron Von Bunny. All right. Y'all ruthless up in here. All right. Thanks, EJ. Did I get to everyone? Yeah, I think I got to everyone. Here he go, lying.
Baby Smurf, go get the Bible. Go get your Bible.
Now he want to bring up the Bible, but he always talk about Ephi and the Medu and the, what do you say, the Busums and the Netaru and Shango and all this other stuff.
And tell your mother to put her hand on that Bible. Tell your mother.
Yeah, Umar, open up that sliding door on the side. Did I say that? He do. He need to open up that sliding door on the side, okay? Scoot on out and go wash them dirty hands. All right. Open up that sliding door on the side. Okay. Thankful Super Chat. Here we go.
To put her hand on that Bible. And tell her to swear that she never told your father you would be with both of us or neither one of us.
Uncle
Tell her
Nancy,
to take it to the Bible. Your
Take
mother
it to
is
the
a
Bible.
Christian. Tell her to swear on the Bible that she didn't tell me you will be with both of us or neither one of us.
I do, though, for real, for real. What's up,
And
EJ?
then you said, when I get married, will you walk me down the aisle?
Here he go.
When I get married, will you walk me down the aisle?
He up here salivating and shit, sweating and spit falling out of his mouth.
When I get married, will you walk me down the aisle?
This guy's goofy. He got on this belt, holding his belt over his shoulder, going on his own daughter.
Baby Smurf, if you are marrying a man that I approve of, I will walk you down the aisle if you would like.
Umar, you're a deadbeat. What are you talking about? You never, anyway.
If you marry a man, I understand that you have been drafted into the Rainbow Army.
Oh, he shouldn't do this.
I don't agree with that at all, but I love you as my child. It will not affect our.
Look at this goofy. I can't believe he's doing this. Look at this. Look at him. Look at him. Puckering his lips and shit. Looking like Daffy Duck. I ain't going to say what I was going to say. Yeah, up here. Let me stop. But this is so wrong right here. Umar, you don't have to do this. Okay. It's just not right.
Relationship. But do not ever ask me to co-sign or support something that I am vehemently against. I will not walk you down the aisle if you're marrying a woman. Let me say that one more time. I will not walk you down the aisle if you're marrying a woman, nor will your wife be allowed in my house.
You don't have a house. What's wrong with you? Mama closet? This guy lies so much. First of all, you shouldn't do that to your daughter like that and talk this shit about her because, listen, I don't even want to talk about that because the daughter's going through stuff anyway. And listen, whatever her sexual orientation is, she did define it for what it is, but that's irrelevant. As a parent, you love your child no matter what, okay? And you support them no matter what, okay? But for Umar to say that if you get married to a woman, then your wife is not allowed in my house. Umar, you ain't got no house. What are you talking about? This guy lies so much. He even have to lie about the fact that he's a homeless bum. Where's your house at, Umar? Don't say your mama's closet and don't say up at them FDMG trap bandos. Don't do that. Where's your house at? I'll wait. That's like me saying, you know what, Aki and Kiara, you tripping today. You not invited into my spaceship. Huh? I ain't got no spaceship. I have to roll my eyes. I ain't done it in a long time. Here back in the day, we poke our bottom lips out, we was mad. And roll our eyes. He ain't got no house. What is he talking about? This guy is a nutcase. Listen, Jazzy Jazz. Listen. When I terraform Mars and I have my space shuttle up there, you can't come in my space shuttle. Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying? This guy is such a habitual liar. See, he's trying to paint this narrative that, he's so high and mighty, as if his opinion matters. He's a deadbeat. He's not even an active participant. He's in here chastising and demeaning, disrespecting his daughter. And then somehow in his crazy, twisted mind, he's sick. His crazy, twisted mind, he comes up with the scenario that, okay, if you get married, then he wants to take a shot at her for her sexual orientation too. That's wrong as a parent. And then it's also wrong for you to do that online. Umar, you ain't shit. That's how politicians they be when they do that. And Umar, you shouldn't have done it. And you ain't shit. So he wants to take a shot at her, but then he has to concoct this whole fantasy wherein, okay, if you have a wife, I'm not going to walk her down the aisle. And the other thing is that if you marry a woman, then she's not allowed in my house. Umar, you don't have a house. Where's your house? I need someone right now in the Cookie Crush chat. Someone right now in the Cookie Crush chat to tell me where is Umar's house. I'm bothered. I'm really bothered by this because I know the reality. The reality is that Umar Johnson, he be moving his fingers and shit. Umar Johnson has been homeless since 2019. Are we saying, Umar, are you saying that your house is your mama's closet? I'm trying to make this make sense. See, I'm trying to understand why this 50-year-old struggle streaming bum is going to get online and tell his child that he's been a deadbeat to, that if she marries a woman, that the woman can't come to Umar's house, but Umar don't have a house. Listen, I don't care about FDMG no more. FDMG is done. It's done, son. I want to know about Umar Johnson's house. And it's y'all's responsibility. I'm tripping. I know. I'm trying to put on the show. It's y'all's responsibility. Cookie Crush Chat, it's y'all's responsibility to tell me if Umar has a house. I'll wait. I can't believe Umar just said that. What kind of bum? This intercontinental hobo said, Umar, listen, you were evicted. And this is it. I apologize. We're going to take a quick break after this. I apologize with the shenanigans. I try to put together a show. I want people to enjoy. Umar, you were evicted in 2019. That same residence you were evicted in 2010, but you resolved it so that you can stay. But in the 2019 eviction, you were not able to resolve. And what happens for about the next year, a little bit over a year, you're living in and out of hotel rooms. We stopped seeing you inside of that spot where you flipped the phone. So where did you go? You had to go somewhere. That's where you're living in and out of motel rooms. And then at a certain point, and I can pull it up and show you guys when exactly, he starts to live stream from where he's live streaming in this video, which is his mama's closet. He doesn't own that property. It's not his house. It's Section 8 housing. He's not even supposed to be there. Umar does not have a house. He has a mama closet from time to time, but that's very rarely. He ain't been up there. He ain't been in mama closet for many months. But that speaking schedule died down. You can go look at it. And just like clockwork, like I told people, I said, he going to end right back up inside his mama closet. That's not Umar's house. Umar, you don't have a house. How you going to raise $2.7 million and you don't have a house? How you the most requested scholar and you don't have a house? How you a school psychologist and you don't have a house? You have a closet, but you don't have a house. Okay, I'm gonna leave it right there. This guy is nuts. He's living he's bizarro. He's living in an alternative reality where he has a house. Umar, where's your house at? I need something to drink. I was gonna drink this over here, but I don't want it to keep me up. Okay, this guy, look at him. Look at this guy. He lies so much. You can't come to my house. What are you talking about, Umar? Listen to this.
More time. I will not walk you down the aisle if you're marrying a woman, nor will your wife be allowed in my house.
Whoa, what? This is insane. This is one of those moments with these Umar Johnson sagas where we just sit back and say, what? Umar, you know it, and I know it, and the Cookie Crush chat knows it. You don't have a house, you bum. Here Umar was going off on he was going off on Zora. You really think I want to bend that? Wait a minute, what? He was snarling and shit. All right. Said, Umar, you are wild, boy. You can't come to my house. Stop, Umar. You don't have a house. All right. Okay, let me do these super chats. Then we're going to take a break. We're going to get a quick reset. We're going to go for about another 30 minutes. And we'll reset. We'll finish up with this video probably tomorrow. I don't think we're going to finish up today, but it's all good. We're going to do our best to get through these the 2 videos by Thursday. Okay. She just said this whole thing is a Boondocks episode. It really is. It's and not that it's comedic per se, but I think that the drama factor is at an all-time high. You can't make this up. I mean, it sounds like something that would be like on a Netflix special, for the black people, you know what I'm saying? you know, on back in the day, Oprah will be talking about something, this type of thing. It's gotten so twisted and out of control. But it's Umar's doing. This is all Umar. See, he's always wrapped up in some mess, and he doesn't realize it. Like Black Anonymous was saying earlier, he's trying to do damage control, but ultimately what he's doing is he's making things worse. Okay, now he's up here talking about, now he's lying about having a house. He ain't got no house. We all know that. Thanks, CJ, for the super chat. No one wants to marry this McNasty. That's the narrative that Umar tells, though, is that these women, they wanted to marry him, and because they wanted to marry him, that's the reason why he decided to basically, he didn't want to deal with them anymore, because he felt like he was being pressured. See, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that they wanted to marry him. I think that they realized early on that he was mental, you know, and at first he presented himself a particular way, but then he started getting crazier and crazier and crazier, and they didn't want to deal with him anymore. See, Umar's true colors came out. Again, predators often, they'll present themselves in a particular way to people, but then it's like a predator in the wild. They'll camouflage themselves. They'll know where to stay. They'll stay downwind. They'll stay in brush. They'll hide out, whatever. The camouflaged aspect of it. Well, Umar does the same thing to women. He'll present himself a particular way, you know, and then he makes sure that he waits until the appropriate time to attack. You know, he's targeting them, very specific types of women, I'm sure, okay, because he's a predator. And then he presents himself one way. It's like camouflage. This is who I am, but that's not really who he is. And then they deal with them for a while, and then, you know, he impregnates them. He deals with them, and as more and more they deal with him, the more and more they realize he's batshit crazy. Then they don't want to deal with him anymore. But he wants to spin this whole other story, you know. And then listen, Umar, he doesn't take care of himself. He's very poor hygiene at the age of 50. Okay, a lot of this has to do with the mental health issues. I highly doubt that a good woman, I'm talking about a woman of character and of substance, and who cares about cleanliness, and most women do, because you're raised that way because of biological function. Okay, we know how that is. I highly doubt that there would be women who have that type of orientation, that they would look at Umar and be like, okay, this is the type of man I want to marry. He's filthy. That's what I'm saying. He flipped the phone. He's filthy. He's filthy in this video. Dirty fingernails, sweating all over the place, drooling out the mouth, greasy head, all greasy. Umar could fry some chicken. Let me stop. Now, thanks, Part B. Okay, let me get these other super chats real quick. Red October says, at this point, his supporters get what they deserve. This entire saga was about saving Black children, and yet he has abandoned his own. Real talk. Very well said. Very well said. You know, Umar's premise was that he's going to save Black children, going way back, UNIA days, 2005. See, and yet he abandoned his own children, 3 of them at least. Man, the hypocrisy in this guy is incredible, and I think more and more of his followers are waking up to that. Now, some of them, it doesn't matter what he does; they're still going to defend him and still rock with him. But I think that it's a very difficult hurdle to overcome, because if your whole platform is based upon this notion that you're going to save children, FDMG is based upon this idea that he's going to save children, and yet he's a deadbeat and he doesn't even take care of his own children. It totally demolishes the premise, you know, the mission that he said he was about. But, you know, the truth is, Red October, he wasn't about that. That wasn't his mission anyway. That's just him camouflaging, giving the illusion that he's one thing, he's one way, and that's what he was about. He wasn't about that. What he was about was money and sex. That's it. Sexual exploitation of these single Black mothers, and then exploiting Black people in the Black community so they can get money out of them. And he's been living off of this money since at least 2014. See? St. Paul's College. He was collecting money for other FDMG related projects and shit before that. But the real money started coming in 2014. Started in April of 2014, and Umar's been living off of that money ever since. See? And the irony of all this, Red October, is that even though he's been living off this money for the last 11 years, he's still a broke bum living inside of his mama closet. He don't even have his own vehicle, his own car. He don't have his own house. Talking about the lady can't come to his house. Umar, you don't have a house. See? Abandon these children. And see, that's what happens. See, if Umar wasn't a public figure, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, because this isn't uncommon for people to abandon, let me just be real, for men to abandon their children. It happens with women too. Okay, but I'm specifically talking about Umar. It's not uncommon. But because he's a public figure, and because his whole platform and his whole agenda, so-called mission in life, is to save Black children, it's totally hypocritical. And then it really sheds light on what he's really about, because you can't say that you're there to save black children, but you've abandoned your own. See, total hypocrite. Thanks, Red October. Wasn't there a movie called Red? Yeah, it was a movie called Red October, I think. Red October. It was a submarine movie. One of my favorite movies all time, though, was called Crimson Tide. It was another Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. One of the best movies I've ever seen. It was another movie dealing with submarines. Great movie, really good movie. I want to get a dog like that. It's one of them little terriers or whatever. That's the kind of dog I want to get. Anyway, thanks, Red October. CJ says, all this false machismo, at what point do we question Umar's sexuality? Like megachurch pastors, usually what they preach against is what they're doing. Yeah, there are people who have stated that Umar was gay. I don't believe that. And the thing is that there has to be proof of that. Okay, and again, like Umar said, evidence isn't proof either. Proof is where you can definitively say that this is the truth, and there's no proof that would lead me to conclude that. I'm always fair with Umar. I'm always fair. See, now Umar said that I was gay. Okay, that it's a lie. I took offense to it back then. I really don't give a shit these days, but I took offense to it back then. But just because he did that to me, am I going to do that to him? No, I'm not going to do it. Not without any conclusive evidence that proves it to be the case. See, and just because someone says something, that doesn't mean that it's true. See, and again, I always give Umar the benefit of the doubt. See, one of the things I've learned since I started covering Umar is there are a lot of people out there that they will say all kind of shit. You know, they may even fabricate evidence, but the evidence isn't proof. You see what I'm saying? Anyone can get online and say that this person is gay, or that person is gay, or this person is lesbian, that person is lesbian, that person is bi, or whatever, you know, but that doesn't mean that it's true. And so for me, there has to be evidence. Let me give you another example. It has to be evidence that proves it to be conclusive evidence that proves it to be true. Let me give another example. I found documents that would lead people to believe that Umar has a fourth baby mama. It's in a child support system in Philadelphia. Okay? However, I haven't been able to verify that. See, I've been able to verify the other three baby mamas. He only claims two, but I've been able to verify the other three. But I haven't been able to verify that fourth one. So do I put that out there? No, I don't put it out there, because I can't state it conclusively that's Umar that's in that paperwork, although I think that it is. See, but just because I think it doesn't mean that it's true. See, I have to be able to verify it first to be able to put that out there like that. Okay, unless I'm speculating. Okay, now I can speculate. See, I think it's Umar. Right? But do I know for sure? No, not until I can prove it without a shadow of a doubt. And if I'm able to do that, and I'm working on that right now, if I'm able to do that, then I'll come back and I'll say, no, it's official. Umar has 4 baby mamas. Okay. So same thing with his sexuality. I look at it the same way. I'm always fair. You know, is it possible? Yeah, but I haven't seen any evidence that would lead me to conclude that Umar is homosexual or anything other than heterosexual. I will say this though, however, that Umar does not care about black women. Just because you want to have sex with them doesn't mean that you care about them. I will also say this, that he has taken video footage of not only women's body parts, you know, like a pervert would do. Okay, they got clothes, women got clothes on, but we seen it on the airplane. He's done the same thing to children. I will say that because I have the evidence. Okay, they can prove that to be the case. Okay? I'm always fair. All right. Thanks, CJ, for super chat. Beast Nation, Umar's house is on the corner of Know Your Robe Boulevard and Tunde Drive. No, the closest thing that Umar has to a house is his mama's closet. And that's not his house. He's not on the paperwork on that. It's Section 8 housing. I've already seen the paperwork because she had received eviction notices, a notice back in 2023 because they needed to re-up on their Section 8 status. She needed to do that. See, that's what I'm saying. Umar don't handle business. He's supposed to be the primary caretaker. She's wheelchair bound. He should be the person who's living off of his mama at the age of 50, who should be helping her to handle that. But he wasn't doing that. So she ended up getting an eviction notice. And I have the paperwork for that. I have some other stuff too, but I ain't going to speak on all that. Okay, it's relevant to Umar. That's why I can speak on it, because Umar lives inside of his mama's closet. Beast Nation, that's the closest thing that Umar has to a house. Secondarily, it would be FDMG, because there was a time where he was trying to live in there. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if once it starts to warm up, we see Umar inside of those buildings more and more. Not because he's working, but because he's living in there. See? It's just right now he's able to stay inside his mama. He ain't been in there in many months. Okay? He's able to stay inside his mama closet, but he ain't gonna be for long because he's not supposed to be there. Okay. All right, thanks for super chat. Master Khalik says your wife can't ride in my Falcon 9 SpaceX rocket. Okay, that's fine. You listen. You got you a Falcon 9 SpaceX rocket. Yeah, that technology is incredible. Just how they landed these days. They be able to land the what you call the thrusters. That's incredible. Yeah, Umar, he's out there. This is one of those moments in this Umar Johnson saga where your jaw drops. Did he just say that they can't come to his house? He doesn't have a house. Just like Master Khalik, you don't have a Falcon 9 SpaceX rocket. Okay, cut it out. I guarantee you ain't got one. You know what I'm saying? All right. It's just wild. It goes to show you two things. One, Umar is a habitual liar, pathological liar. But two, he gaslights. His imagination, what he comes up with, and this whole scenario about his daughter marrying a woman, and then he's not going to walk her down the aisle, and then his daughter's quote unquote wife hypothetically can't come to his house. I mean, that's a really huge stretch of the imagination. Umar, you don't have a house. Furthermore, he shouldn't be speaking on this about his daughter like this. It's wrong. Yeah, I told people the story about our neighbors at our old residence. The neighbors, one of the daughters, her mama was engaged. First, they was boyfriend girl, but she was engaged to this dude that lived there with them, and the daughter became. I'm sorry, I apologize. My kids, they can explain all this. I apologize for my ignorance, but she was a girl, but she started to dress like a boy. She presented herself as a boy. She was kicking with my oldest son. They would hang out and stuff. She was real. I apologize. I'll say he really, I was gonna say sweet, but if he, I can't say that. But you guys get my point, right? And she would come over. He would come over, and I'll tell you're welcome here anytime. Because that's our household. Where all the kids would always come over to our house in the neighborhood, hang out. They would eat and kick it and play games and all that kind of stuff. But then what ends up happening is the father over there took issue with her becoming a quote unquote he. Okay, I apologize. No disrespect. It's just I'm not clear with the terminology. I try to understand. My children, they've explained it to me. I just hard for me. He had a problem with her, and they end up kicking her out. And then we stopped seeing her, and every once in a while she would pop up, and we're like, "Where you been?" And she was like, "Oh, they kicked me out, and I'm just picking up something," or they're picking me up, and she had to go. I think she went to go live with the aunt or something like that, one of her aunties. And it wasn't too much long, and it pissed me off too. I was so upset about that because that's her daughter, and regardless, you got to love your baby, and you still provide them with a home to it's just crazy. And then what the irony of it is that the mama and her fiance ended up breaking up. And they didn't get married, and then the mama ended up moving out. See, at what expense? See, don't do that to y'all. If y'all got babies, don't be like that. Love them no matter what. See, in some cases, if they're dealing with stuff and they're going down what you may think is the wrong path, just work with them, be there for them, support them, give them encouragement. And if they come back on going the other direction, okay, fine. But if they don't, you love them anyway. See, I told my kids a long time ago, listen, if you're gay or bi or whatever, I really don't give a shit. As long as you ain't dealing with no stupid people, we good. Anyway, thanks for super chat, Master Khalik. Your kids will see this says, so you're telling me Lenon, the Enterprise 2024 Ford Escape is not a home? No, it's not. It's not. And it don't matter if you go to Enterprise, okay, or any other car rental place, okay, Avis or whatever else, it doesn't matter. It's not a house. Umar is crazy. This guy is nuts. Thanks. Your kids will see this. Let's do this real quick because we're running out of time. Yeah, we really should be closing out in about 8 minutes. We're going to go for another, 15. We'll go for another 23 minutes. Okay. Lori says, how is he not embarrassed by the words coming out of his mouth? He's just a hateful vagabond. Yeah, Laura, I think we talked about this, I think yesterday's live stream, might have been last week, but Umar, I don't think he feels embarrassment like a normal human being would. I mean, even the fact that his nails are all dirty and he's live streaming in his mama closet, that's the ultimate struggle streamer. He's a struggle streamer. Okay. he has no self-awareness, and so he doesn't feel embarrassment because he's not aware of what he's doing per se. You know, it's crazy too, because if you're doing these things, you're saying these things, you're looking all bummy with a WWF belt on, looking just really ridiculous, and it's video recorded. Wouldn't you come back and look at it and then have some self-awareness? Like, maybe I should wash my hands. Maybe I should get all this dirt out of my fingernails. Maybe I should, not be up here funky and sweating and dripping up sweat. And I can tell he's funky. Maybe I should comb my hair a little bit and take a shower before I get up on here and rant. Maybe I shouldn't be looking up here like a goofy with a belt on, like a WWF belt at the age of 50. It's live streaming, struggle streaming inside my mama closet. You would think that he would put those pieces together, but I just don't think he has it up here. So he doesn't feel embarrassment because it doesn't register in his mind how ridiculous he looks and how ridiculous he's behaving. See? And Laura, this isn't the only incident. There's plenty of other incidents where you would think that Umar would have figured this out by now and said, hey, wait a minute, maybe I should stop being like this. And I think it was Black Anonymous mentioned this. Someone mentioned this yesterday, how it has impacted his followers, his viewers. They're seeing all this take place, and more of them are falling away because they realize that something's not right with this guy. See? Again, he doesn't have the self-awareness, so he doesn't feel embarrassment. Right now in this video, what he feels is as if he's been betrayed, and he feels as if he's been attacked. And so what does he do? He gets on the offensive and he starts to attack his own daughter online and his daughter's mother. Okay. And at the end of the day, yeah, he's just a hateful vagabond. He's very hateful. He's a very hateful person. Okay. Most of what he says is hateful. You rarely hear Umar saying anything positive about other people, with one exception, Lori. Umar, if let's say interview someone who's interviewing him, asks him, say, okay, well, what do you think about Deion Sanders? He said he'll start with something positive, and then he starts going in with the negative, and he keeps going in with the negative all the way through. That's what he does. See, he's a hateful person. Thank you, Laura, for super chat. And jealous too. He's very much jealous of successful Black people because he's been a failure. Thanks, Laura. John the Professional says Umar's inability to turn his social media presence into wealth speaks volumes. You have to, and listen, I've looked at this. Umar's inability to turn his social media presence into wealth speaks volumes. There are influencers with less of a social media presence who are millionaires now. Strange, yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Umar could have easily in 2014. Umar could have easily set up a website with very little overhead and called it FDMG Academy, and have online courses for people to look. It doesn't have to be coursework per se. It could actually, and it could be coursework because he have PDFs where people can download and they can actually print it out and they can write it out. Or he can have it set up to where they actually do it online, and they'll just be clicking on things, the answer, what's the answer here, blah, blah, blah. But it could have also included videos. See? Well, what about bandwidth? Well, what you could have done simply is to put the videos on YouTube and then embed those videos into the website. Okay, and then list them as unlisted on YouTube so that people can't see them, but people on the website can actually click on them. It's that simple. See, so we can't say, oh, good, yeah, but if he has 1,000 videos, what about bandwidth issues? You got all these people follow. No, put that on YouTube. See what I'm saying? Set up a website, make it a monthly subscription, different tiers. Okay, people can actually sign up for a year subscription. That could be a family plan for people that have 4 or 5 kids. If you have 3 or 4 or 5 kids, you only have to pay for 2. There's a membership for 1 child, membership for 2 child. If you have more than 3 or more, then you get a discount, blah, blah, blah. And if you purchase for a year, there's a discounted here as well. Also, you can have special content. I mean, it could be simple stuff like, okay, how do you hammer a nail? How do you do car repair? How do you do these math equations? Here's history. It could be Black history. People can study that, have it all online and build it up over time. He would literally be making $400,000, $500,000 a year easily with very little overhead, all online by now. He'd be a multimillionaire easily. See, now it'd be different if he didn't have a social media presence. But if you got 1 million followers just on Instagram, you have no excuse. But he doesn't know how to monetize because he's not business minded and he's not tech savvy. Now, if he was willing to work with people who had some expertise in terms of the internet, social media, anything dealing with IT infrastructure, anything like that, if he was willing to work with people, and there were people that would have helped provide him with services for free, he could have set all that stuff up with very little overhead. I figured he could have spent max maybe $50,000 to get it all started. But then the residual income indefinitely, he's a multi-millionaire over the course of 3, maybe 4 years, easily. See? but he's not business savvy and he's not tech savvy. See? The other thing is that Umar doesn't want to put work in on the front end. What he wants is money on the front end because he's in desperation mode. He's not thinking in advance. See, all the help was there from the beginning. Well, what about services? There's no problem. Okay. Yeah, there'll be stuff that be on your own personal server for that website. But in terms of the streaming of the videos, just upload them onto YouTube, list them as unlisted, and then have links embedded onto the web page. And then it'd be a subscription. People just pay for a subscription. I mean, literally 1,000, 5,000 people, 10,000 people a month. And the subscription is $5 for the basic plan. Come on now. And then have tiers, $10, $20, a button there for people who want to donate to the site. Submissions for people they can upload if they, and just for whoever's managing the website, which really he could have done himself. Okay. Whoever's managing the website, he's not tech savvy, but whoever's managing the website, people put in their submission, it'd be a video and then a write-up of what they're talking about. And then you review it. And if it's something that you want to have on the website, then you go into contract with them. You let them know, okay, I'll pay you this up front, or you can get residuals on the back end, however you want to work it out. And then that'd be more content on the website. Then Umar, every time he's running his mouth on social media, he can monetize that. See? Just put it on the website instead. On the main page, that's his main announcement page. And he goes live there once a day. Can you imagine? Donation button under there too. Once a day. And now people aren't going to Instagram where he's not making any money, or on Facebook where he's not making any money. They're being directed to his website. In addition to that, he offers products and services. See? His own products and services, but then he also goes into contract with other people who have their own products. All could be all blackety black. And then they submit, they talk with him. He should have a team working with him. It wouldn't be that difficult. There's people willing to do stuff for free for him back in the day. But what he does is people say, yeah, I want to have this product, I want to sell this product. And then what did he do? He posts a link onto their website, direct them over to their website. And then when they purchase it from the link that he provides, he gets income that coming in too. He gets a kickback, as it were. So I'm saying it's like affiliate marketing, but not Umar. He doesn't even have a house, even though he says that he does. See, there's no excuse for that whatsoever. See, if I'm able to make the kind of money that I'm making online and I'm doing it part-time, it's actually less than part-time. Umar has no excuse not to be a millionaire by now. There's no excuse whatsoever. See? But he's not tech savvy. He's unwilling to work with people. He doesn't think in advance and looks into the future. He's not business-minded, and he's greedy. He wants money now. See, but if he had thoughts, if he was smart about it, he wouldn't be thinking like the rabbit running the race. He would have thought like the tortoise, who takes his time step by step. And then by the time you get to the end, the rabbit done ran out of steam, and you cross in the finish line before the rabbit does. See, but Umar, he's a bunny hopper. I'm just playing. I had to throw it in there, but this is a good point right here. John, I've thought about this for many years. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Really though says my Tunde is telling me no, but my Shango's telling me yes. Okay, all right. That's too far. Thank you, really though, for the super chat. Beast Nation says, why are you trolling like a bee? Ain't you tired trying to strike a chord? And it's probably a Tunde. Okay, what are you talking about? Y'all going crazy up in here. Thanks for the super chat. And then TV says that's the difference between Umar and Tariq. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, Umar knows Tariq. He's business savvy. People may not like him. I don't watch his stuff, but he's business savvy. He's always been. He hustles. He knows how to make that money, and he's business minded. But Umar is not. He's never been, and I don't think he ever will be. Okay, he's more comfortable begging for money for the last 11 years. Then setting up a website on the front end with the same money that he's begging for, and then just sit back and let the money roll in without much work that needs. I mean, front end work, yes, but I'm talking about long term. It's not going to be a lot of work, and he's raking in anywhere from $100 to $200 and $250,000 a year, sitting back in the cut. Okay, he's goofy, straight up. All right, thank you so much. Yeah, I know, Lenon, you can't not be serious. If Umar set up a legal business, he must pay taxes. That's called accountability. Yeah, there would be tax liability that's associated with the amount of money they would bring in, but he can actually use this he can use his nonprofit status. He can set up a nonprofit profit for his website though too. It's possible. And he knows how to go about that process. He probably had other people to do that with him. But even still, if he didn't want to go that route and made it for profit, which is perfectly fine, okay, just have an accountant. Make sure you're setting money aside to pay the taxes. See, but overwhelmingly, the amount of money that he's going to bring in, and it would be considered to be personal income in that sense, would be more than enough for him to live a very easy life, financial life, because the amount of money he's bringing in after taxes is still going to be over $100,000 a year. Okay. And if he grows this and scales this over time, that'll get up to $200,000 a year. It'll get up to $300,000 a year. Okay. And then he just saves over time, still paying the taxes. He'll be a millionaire probably over the course of maybe 5 or 6 years from when he starts. And then after that, it just grows over time. But not Umar. Right? He's greedy. He wants the money now. All right. Thank you all so much. We're going to start winding this down. We're almost at the 3-hour mark. I want to make sure that I played the videos that I promised people, and we're going to come back and finish up this other video that we started yesterday. We'll finish it up tomorrow. I want to thank everyone for tuning on in. We'll probably go for another 10 minutes here. Black Wolf says, Umar doesn't want transparency, Lenon. Ain't no way he would run a proper business. People would see his real motive then. Jim, yeah, I got it. I already have it queued up. Matter of fact, we'll do that first. You're right about this. He doesn't want the transparency, but even still, from a business perspective, he could have done this, and then there would have been people who probably would have questioned him and said, well, listen, it's all about the money. But I mean, it's all about the money anyway, right? So why not just be forthright with it from the beginning? Listen, I'm offering the products and services. I'm also helping the community to help other people with their products and services get exposure. You know, I'm also making money off of that. But then also use it as an example to Black people on how you can monetize yourself and actually make money on the internet. There's a lot of different ways. See, the idea of opening up a school, that sounds great, but he hasn't done that. See, all of that is a fantasy, just like his house, his home. See, but if he had approached this from a business perspective, he could have looked and said, okay, wait a minute, I can actually maximize my social media presence and just use specific strategies online to grow and scale this as a business. And he would have been rolling in the money. And it would have been inspirational for Black people to see this. You see what I'm saying? And then, yeah, just say, hey, listen, yeah, I'm making money. And then, hey, here we go, Black Wolf. I'm making this money, and what I'm doing is I'm setting aside a percentage of it each year so that we can acquire a school. Boom, here we go. Because he ain't done shit anyway, right? It's that bag. Why not do it that way? You know what I'm saying? Instead of being a virtual vagrant, you know what I'm saying, a cyber bum. Say, hey, listen, I'm here to make this money so we can open up this school, family. I'm not just going to beg you. You could donate if you want to. There's a donate button on a couple of them on the website. That's fine. But I'm offering products and services, and it's all for the people. It's backity black. This guy would be a millionaire by now. Remember, he started collecting money for the St. Paul's cause in 2014. We're in 2025. In 2010, he said the school was going to open September 11, 2013. That's 2010. That's 15 years ago. You mean to tell me that with Umar's social media presence, he couldn't grow a business with very little overhead, online business, and wouldn't be a millionaire by now? You can't nobody tell me that. There's no way. There's no way that he would not be able to do that unless he's completely inept, and he is. He's the technology. He don't deal well with technology. He don't work well with others, and there have been people that would help him out for free. Okay, but then there would be a levels of accountability. He don't want that either. That's true. See, but he could have done it. He could have done it. But instead, what is he doing? He's standing inside Mama Claus. Damn. Umar went from potentially being a millionaire to stand inside of Mama Claus. How you gonna go from being a potentially millionaire to stand inside your Mama Claus? That's crazy. All right, let's go to 2017. Okay, May 20th to be exact. Here we go.
Peace and love, Black families. The Prince of Pan Africanism coming to you live and direct. Nagoya, Japan. Taking me a nice Japanese bath. Getting ready for tonight's power lecture here in Nagoya.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Could have bought an LMS package for his website like Canvas, Moodle. I don't know. I haven't heard of Moodle. Blackboard, yeah, or Brightspace for his course. Absolutely. All that technology is already out there. Businesses use that technology to train their employees. There's no excuse. Pay the money up front. Anyway, you're right.
Shout out to all the brothers and sisters who came out yesterday in Tokyo.
What's
I
up,
thoroughly
information man?
enjoyed you. Prince of Pan Africanism, can't wait to come back.
Yeah,
in
you're right.
August.
Summer Red Tree.
You feel me? To politic with y'all even some more. But we're here in Nagoya on the top of the roof. Hotel, the sun is out. Land of the rising sun. Good air, good heat, good temperature.
What are you talking about? This place is filthy. What?
Just getting my Bruce Leroy on right now. I'm just getting my Bruce Leroy on right now inside of the Japanese spot.
Umar looking like a Umar up here looking like a black conscious mermaid. We shouldn't say mermaid. We should say a merman. Yeah, he looking like he actually kind of looks like a walrus, but we ain't gonna get it that right.
Beautiful, you feel me? Nice scenery. You know what I mean? A lot of nice scenery here.
This place is filthy. When I was in Japan on tour as a musician, and we went to this one spot, it was like in the mountains. It was pristine. When I say pristine, I couldn't believe how clean that place is. This place is filthy.
Yeah. You know.
Free, don't do that. Okay. Does he have a big back? Yeah, he has a big back out this place. Umar looks like a wet silk. Oh my God. Listen, Miss Cosper says, listen, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Who said that on what cartoon? You know, I know what that. I don't know what the guy's name was, but that's Popeye. What was that guy's name? I can't remember his name right now. He's a goofy looking guy. Looked like a white Umar. I know my cartoon trivia from back in the day. I just can't remember what that guy's name is. Smokey or something like that. That's from Fridays. I can't remember what it was. But that's Popeye. That was one of my favorite cartoons back. Yeah, Wimpy. That's what it was. Wimpy. I said Smokey. And his name was Wimpy. That's what I say. Why did I say Smokey? That's ridiculous. Yeah, his name was Wimpy. He used to always ask for shit and say he's gonna pay him back on Monday or Tuesday, whatever it was. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I know my trivia, my old cartoon trivia. It's just I couldn't remember his name back then. Thanks, Miss Godfrey. I appreciate it. And Black Wolf says Umar doesn't want to transfer you. Oh no, yeah, I've done this already. Yeah, thank you for the super chat too, by the way. And thanks TB as well and Beast Nation. Okay, we got to start winding this down. So let's get through this video real quick. Here we go.
You know, nice place to
look how filthy that is.
Meditate.
Water all struggling to come out. What's that called when the water comes through and it'd be these icicles type structure starts to formulate and you clogs it up. Anyway.
About to take a nice Buddhist meditation. Nice transcendental
Yeah, his name was Wimpy.
meditation.
Yeah, I remember Wimpy.
Let it all.
It was Wimpy, Pluto, Olive Oil, and Popeye were the main characters. Well, really, Popeye and Olive Oil and Pluto, they were the main characters. Wimpy was kind of like a side character.
You know, let it all just fall out. You know, free the mind of any issues. Nice deep meditation. I know how it go.
Yeah, I got
shout out to North Philly. Shout out to the Brooklyn family, the Harlem family, the Bronx family, the Queens family.
Yeah, calcification.
The Long Island, the Staten Island.
But look at all this calcification. I would not get up in there. Ain't no way. Was it Bruno? I thought it was Pluto. Oh, it was Brutus. Now you're right. Fernando, you're right. It was Brutus. His name was Brutus. And you're absolutely right about this. Umar could have monetized a YouTube channel. There is a way to monetize on TikTok now. You can buy subscriptions to certain Instagram content now. Yeah, he could have monetized YouTube, and easily he could have been breaking in. I kid you not. He could have been breaking in anywhere between $7,000 and $10,000 a month. Easy. I'm talking to start easy. But you know, he had a YouTube page. A lot of people, because he tells people he never had a YouTube. No, he started a YouTube page. I have when he was promoting it back in the day. A lot of people don't know about that. He'd be lying, saying, I'm not on YouTube. No, he had a YouTube page. See, but his messaging back then was so controversial, especially him at that time. He was going at the LGBTQ community a lot, just saying all kind of crazy, slanderous, hurtful shit. Okay, and YouTube shut his ass down. That's how bad it was. See, and then he was talking white people, white man, this and all this kind of, but it was way off the wall. Umar's always been crazy, but during that time when he was doing his YouTube page, it just the YouTube guidelines. There's no way. He was way over the top with shit, and so they shut his ass down. Okay, and he never went back and never reestablished a YouTube page, but he had one. A lot of people don't know about that. I have the receipts on that. Yeah. But again, if he had set up a YouTube page back then to start, he would have been making about $7,000 to $10,000 a month, easy, just to start. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going with this filthy spa. Here we go.
And the money earning Mount Vernon family, y'all will see me June 2nd, of course. You feel me? Shout out to the Detroit family, National Independent Black Parent Association Training Conference. Looking forward to seeing y'all then.
He on top of the roof.
Looking forward to seeing y'all then. There's a shot of the city, Nagoya. We on rooftop, doing it the way the Prince of Pan Africanism does it. You feel me? You know, just resting the aching bones. You know, I work hard for the people. And on behalf of all those brothers and sisters out there who can't refresh, who can't take a break, I'm taking a break for them. You feel me?
This is so narcissistic. I'm taking a break for them.
So it's not about me, it's about we. I'm doing this on behalf of all you brothers and sisters out there struggling who can't take a break. Prince of Pan Africanism is doing the spa.
Oh, no.
We doing the spa real big for you.
Yeah, he don't care though.
You feel me?
So yeah, he was like, I'm doing this for y'all.
Nice meditation.
I'm sorry I'm late. I was at the NIBPA conference. You sure was. How's it going to see you better? Yeah, you was at the conference. Yeah, you was at the conference. It was at Umar's house. You missed it. Umar, you make sure you check out this replay. You're going to be shocked what Umar said. I ain't going to tell you. Watch the replay. Because just like you was at the NIBPA conference, yeah, that conference was at Umar's house. Not his mama calls it either. Watch when you review this. You're going to see what I'm talking about. Umar crazy. Yeah, the NIBPA is a figment of Umar's imagination. It's something that he created in his own mind, where it's an organization that falls under Team Pan African. Is it Team Pan African? Yeah, I think it's Team Pan African. And that's the umbrella, but then he has all these umbrella organizations that he's created inside of his deluded mind. And he thinks that like these are operational and they're real. There's no website, there's no office hours, there's no phone call you can call. There's no minutes from when they meet. There's no meetings. There's no board of directors. There's none of that. Okay. It's just a figure, but he talks about it as if this is something that is real. It's just him. Okay. It's him and what he thinks is going on inside of his mind. And for some reason, I don't know why, his viewers and followers, they think that he's doing all these things and that these things are these things are real. But if you ask his followers, okay, can you show me proof of NIBPA? Show me the office hours, show me the website, the phone number that you can call, show me the minutes from when they meet, show me the board of directors, show me where they meet. They can't do it because it doesn't exist. Just like his house don't exist. Okay, but check that out later to you better. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, I got that one, Wimpy. Yeah. I got what I can't remember what I called him, Skippy or something like that. Here we go.
No.
Listen, there's no way I would not be up in here. No way. Look at this.
Clean up.
Oh my God. There's no way I would not step foot in here. No. No.
You know, take a little shower after you spa up. So, you know, we getting it in Prince of Pan Africanism style. You know, that's how we do it. That's how we do it.
Damn, you ruthless, Derek. Derek said he's taking Japanese baths, but won't take an American. He won't take an American one. That's ruthless, man. Derek, come on now. I mean, it's true. It's funny, but damn. Okay, thank you, Derek. It's true though. That's sad. Let's keep going. Look at this film.
You know, just a little Buddhist
It say right there, don't get in the water. It's toxic.
meditation, little ninja meditation, little
Ninja
samurai meditation. You know what I mean? You know
He
how
really
we
thought
do
he was doing something. It even sounds dirty when he's splashing the water. The water sounds, when he's splashing, it sounds dirty.
So, the water is nice and warm. You feel me? It's nice and warm. I'm loving it.
That part gets me every time. Why does he do that? Watch this. He took a big breath like he was going down 20 feet and shit. Watch this. He's so goofy. Let me see if I can pause it when he goes under. Watch this. I don't know information, man. Why? One more time.
The water is nice and warm. You feel me? It's nice and warm. I'm loving it.
Boy, this guy is nuts. All right. That's the Umar in the bubble bath. I think what is it, in Japan, right? I'll have y'all know I took a bath the other Boy, y'all ruthless today. All right, thanks, Big Papa Absence. Let's go ahead and close this out. So someone had asked for that one. Let me go ahead and then here's the other one that someone asked for. I think it was Black Wolf.
Church preaching Jesus on Sunday, but you won't preach justice on Tuesday. I'm sick and tired of black people having time to do everything else but fight for justice. I'm sick and tired of America claiming to be the land of opportunity when in fact she has been a land of genocide and extermination, not 400 years ago, but yesterday. Brothers and sisters, police kicked in the door.
They gave him 5 minutes. The whole video, I have the whole video, but I just edited this one part. But in the whole video, they give him like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, but he keeps talking 20 minutes. He keeps going. They're trying to get him off, but watch what happens.
Of Breonna Taylor's home and shot her in cold blood, and then had the nerve to say they were justified in doing so. Well, according to the United States Constitution, 4th Amendment, citizens have a right to be safe and protected in their person and property and home against unreasonable searches and seizures. So the question is whether or not Breonna Taylor is a citizen, was a citizen of the United States of America. The Second Amendment says that citizens have a right to own, bear, and use arms in the defense of their life and family. So when Brother Kenneth pulled out his pistol and let one off, he was exercising his constitutional right to defend his queen and defend himself. So how?
Him yelling?
Under God's heaven.
Unnecessary too, because he has a microphone.
Can he be charged with attempted murder of police who did not have a constitutionally valid right to be at Breonna's home in the first place? And then the question, why was 32 bullets necessary? According to the police, they expected Breonna Taylor to be home alone. So if you go into the home...
Let me skip through because he gonna keep running his mouth for a while.
Police department have taken the lives of...
See the lady in green? She's been trying to get him off for a long time.
20 people, mostly black, and we ain't heard a word from you yet. That's 4 police killings a year since 2015, and all of them have been on your watch. I read a newspaper article where 2 Louisville police pled guilty to sexually harassing teenage underage girls. One of them harassed the sister in the back of a police car. Another one tied up a woman and fondled her breasts at her place of business in full uniform. Did you know that all three of Breonna's assassins had a record of police misconduct? And did you know that one of them had more than 100 pages of allegations and records of police brutality and excessive force? So even if you thought a search warrant was necessary, them three damn devils wasn't the ones to carry it.
What is he talking about? Let me skip through because he keep going.
Woman president in American history. All power to you. Good luck. But if those three
This is 15 minutes in. They gave him 5 minutes.
men who killed Breonna Taylor ain't locked up soon, your ass will not be going to the Oval Office. Yes, we came here today to mourn. 2 minutes, I'll be done.
2 minutes.
I heard the black bourgeoisie.
Here he go. He keep going. Here we go right here. Watch this. It's at the 60-minute mark.
Is in full force out of here today. So let me say something to you bootlicking ass uppity Negroes who don't like to fight for the people on the bottom. Not all pastors, but most of them. Not all politicians, but most of them. Not all scholars, but most of them. How dare don't give me no CIA water and don't give me no FBI water. You sure this ain't the FBI's water? Black power. I said black power. I said black power. Brothers and sisters, we came here today. That's Breonna's spirit.
Yeah.
But I'ma say this in my low voice. We came to remember Breonna.
Yes. He sound like a Sith Lord. And see, the narcissism is so great. He doesn't back down. He keeps talking for, because we ain't gonna play the whole thing, but he keeps talking for another 8 minutes.
But they were cousins because the slave master raped both mothers. It's going to turn on. So let me go with the quote we got to watch. All right. Frederick Douglass said, if there is no struggle.
This guy, they gave him 5 minutes. He talks for over 25 minutes. He loses his voice, keeps talking, and then they tell him, he said it was only need 3 more minutes. They tell him they're going to cut the mic off, and he keeps on talking. That's the narcissism. Up here sound like a
One daughter named Harriet and another daughter named Betsy. These.
Well, Umar, he wild. Okay, thank y'all so much for tuning on in. Let's go ahead and close this out. We're going to close out with Snow Bunny Love. The poll question, I'm going to close this out too, is a 50-year-old unemployed homeless deadbeat streaming in his mama's closet a struggle streamer? 92% said yes. 8% said no. Thanks to everyone who voted. Also want to thank everyone who sent in super chats. If you sent in cash apps or PayPal, thank you so much. My cash app PayPal links are listed down below in the description of this video. If you sent in super stickers, thank you so much as well. Thanks to the Miles for Handling Business. Let's see, did we get to 600 likes? Let me just refresh this real quick. And it looks like, yeah, we got to 605. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Tomorrow we'll pick back up. We are at the 35-minute mark of the main video. So let me go ahead and mark that 35 minutes, and we'll pick up there tomorrow. And we'll get to the first video tomorrow. We may be able to start the second video. We'll see how things go. Thank you guys again. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. When a walrus is too long away from the water, yeah, his voice starts. Hit the Undertaker gone when Umar loses his. Well, I know we should. That's another one of the characters that Umar identifies as is the Undertaker. He does videos where he starts off with the Undertaker bells. Yeah, he's a true weirdo. Thank you for the super chat, and thanks also for the super chat. Have you ever thought about interviewing Seti? No, I rarely do interviews. And if I did interview, I probably wouldn't interview him. I don't even know if he's active anymore. I knew about him when he was dealing with the House of Consciousness and Saw Netter, but they had a falling out, and I don't even know if he's still active or not. But the only reason why I've talked about him more recently because of the Seti rant. Okay, that rant was an all-time classic in terms of this. I guess black in terms of the black conscious space. So that's the only reason why I really know about Seti. But I've never thought about interviewing. I really do interviews. Thanks for the super chat. Okay, let's go ahead and close this out, everyone. Again, I appreciate y'all's presence. And as we all, which one is it? Is it this one? Oh no, I have the wrong one pulled up. Okay, give me 1 second, everybody. Because I actually have I have a couple of versions of, but I want the one. I think it's the one where he's in the airport. That's the one that I want. Okay, here it is right here. I have a couple of versions of that. Here we go.
Oh my gosh, so you're fancy, huh?
Yeah, black community activist. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Well, good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Cookie Crush Chapter undefeated. Appreciate y'all. Check that out. I'll go check it out, Agent.
With the lights, two sheets, my sweet does the cream. Talk to my nose, this love has got it so raw. Make your goose step and I rip out of control. It's me against the light, snow bunny. Moving on the bar. Everything's alright. Got that smooth so feel. No, that's next to the law. With my snow bunny love.
Thank you, sir. Much respect. Information man's in the building.
She's my snow bunny piece. In the winter lights, so she's my sweet does the cream. Talk to my nose, this love has got it so raw. Make your goose step and I rip out of control. It's me against the light, snow bunny. Moving on the bar. Everything's alright. Got that smooth so feel. No, that's next to the law. With my snow bunny love.
Thank you, guys.
See your eyes shine, she's my snow bunny piece.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
She's my
Yeah, I think I got it. Talk to my nose, this love has got it so raw. Yeah, I got it.
Make your goose step and I rip out of control. It's me against the light, snow bunny. Moving on the bar. Everything's alright. Got that smooth so feel. No, that's next to the law. With my snow bunny love. See your eyes shine, she's my snow bunny piece. In the winter lights, so she's my sweet does the cream.
Respect, bro.
Touch my nose, this love has got it so raw. Make your moves, step and I rip out of control. It's me against the light, snow bunny. Moving on the bar. Everything's alright. Got that smooth so
in the world?
No, that's next to the law.
Y'all tripping. Look at Kennedy's what you call it. See, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all need to cut it out. I was taking to what in the world? Who thinks of that? Yeah, I mean, come on now. Yo, that's why we can't go nowhere. You guys, come on. All right. He had waves and everything. Okay. All right. Thank y'all for tuning on in. We'll be back tomorrow with another live stream. I appreciate one for all your support. And I love y'all. Okay. I hope y'all had a good time. We'll be back tomorrow. Okay. I'll talk with y'all soon. Take care. Peace.